Lion Mountain becomes ground zero after revived spiritual energy sends a ferocious beast tide rampaging, while an exhausted, shackled woman keeps sprinting ahead of the chaos and gasping for air, because the armed squad behind her still demands she surrender the flowers she's carrying. Yet she pushes her battered legs harder, refusing to let either chains or exhaustion stop her, even as the soldiers warn that nobody can escape the stampede closing in around them. The fugitive glances back at the snarling swarm, but fear only drives her faster, and one breathless soldier grudgingly admits that their better target can seriously move out here, before another trigger-happy genius fires his rifle straight toward the fleeing woman anyway, earning an immediate dressing down because a whole beast tide is charging beneath them, and any stray shot could make their already terrible situation a whole lot worse. That warning proves painfully late when something massive bears down on the squad from behind, revealing a ferocious mutant boar whose tusks look fully capable of deleting their health bars. So the soldiers open fire, realizing the projectile that struck earlier was merely one tusk, but their bullets barely slow the monster as it bulldozes straight toward the panicked formation, forcing the squad to run while their leader reminds them nobody outruns a wild boar. He refuses to fold, however, hauling out a rocket launcher to match Big Trouble with bigger firepower, and the blast hammers directly into the charging boars, buying his squad one explosive opening. Although the sweating gunner immediately realizes the first rocket was not enough to finish them, a second detonation tears across the mountainside, shaking loose debris and blasting smoke through the pass, only for a colossal golden lion to rise inside the chaos with a roar. The smoke clears around Lion Mountain's king, a lightning-wreathed golden lion packing serious boss energy, and the stunned soldiers wonder whether that magnificent mane might actually be made of gold, because apparently their next brilliant idea is testing the theory with another burst of gunfire. Their bullets streak toward the cliff, but this king is way beyond ordinary target practice, launching from his perch so quickly that the shooters barely register his movement before one brutal swipe sends armed men and rifles flying across the smoky battlefield. A furious mustached soldier reaches for heavier firepower, hoping a rocket will settle things, but the golden lion crashes through the squad with lightning surging around his massive claws, and one red-eyed roar makes it obvious these invaders have thoroughly aggroed the wrong boss. Moments later, every soldier lies scattered across the ground while their weapons smoke uselessly. The lion dryly blames his uncontrollable strength, then faults these humans for dragging the beast tide here. His real name is Lu Fan, an orphaned college graduate and migrant worker reborn on Earth Star as this demonic beast. Now his ridiculous system rewards everything: roaring, sharpening claws, defeating invaders, even grooming, with permanent upgrades, so when a mutant boar approaches, he only scratches his head and waits, earning prestige merely by conquering it as the terrified creature retreats without a fight. A demonic parrot praises its king's overwhelming power, but he asks where the fleeing woman went. The green snake reports that the explosions knocked her directly into the rampaging beast tide, and that grim update wipes the smugness straight from Lufan's face at once. Rather than chase blindly, he forces every surrounding beast to submit, collecting another 1,000 prestige, until the entire stampede trembles and parts beneath the mountain's newly undisputed king. Following the path through the subdued herd, Lu Fan finally finds the shackled woman motionless on the ground, while the surrounding beasts bow and keep their distance as their king approaches her body. He believes she is already dead, yet an unusual aura still pulses inside her, so a careful breath of demonic energy draws a glowing soul from the corpse, and the spirit emerges as a white-haired woman, transformed but unmistakably linked to the fallen fugitive. Her translucent form steadies among blue ghost flames, and she stares back in stunned silence. Lu Fan finds this development interesting, already sensing that her lingering soul could matter. Back inside Lion Mountain's ruined cave, he gives the newly formed ghost room to recover, then bluntly tells the crying spirit that dead people are not supposed to have tears, before advising her to stop haunting the place and go get reincarnated somewhere else. As if reincarnation were a quick errand she could casually knock out before dinner, the system instantly detects a hostless ghost and orders Lu Fan to bind with her, which spooks him because this feels like a main mission, but he decides that system cannot hurt him. Before he can proceed smoothly, a fiery companion scolds the king for going overboard, pointing out that the frightened ghost is grieving, not refusing his help at all. The speaker is Miao Zhu, a green candle demon who gently reassures the white-haired spirit, explaining that the king's demonic energy condensed her soul instead of letting it disperse, and Miao Zhu knows the method works because that same power once turned her into a demon. However, borrowed energy alone is insufficient. The ghost also needs a special constitution, plus a powerful obsession anchored deep within her heart before any transformation can truly stick. Miao Zhu asks the ghost why humans hunted her, finally opening the door to her story, and gently that two demons are still far less frightening than those masked soldiers. The spirit hesitates, then gathers enough courage to explain what happened before her death. Her name is Su Ling, from Mong village below Lion Mountain, where disappearances reduced the population to 23. A few days earlier, an armed group arrived at the village beside the mountain stream, wearing sealed masks and tactical armor while ordering everyone toward the dangerous forest at gunpoint. The invaders herded the remaining villagers inside like disposable scouts, ignoring every frightened protest. One elderly man begged for mercy because his own son had already vanished in those woods, but a soldier struck him down and threatened to kill him unless he obeyed. then seized the man's grandson too, forcing the battered elder to enter for the child's sake. Armed escorts marched the villagers deeper among the trees, with a tracking dog leading their column, until the injured elder fell behind, clutching his head as unseen pain overwhelmed him, and some hidden force erased him from the path before anyone could even react. The soldiers caught only a flicker, cursing as another villager vanished without leaving a trace, while horrified relatives insisted old Lao Li had been standing beside them moments earlier. Rather than investigate, the invaders grabbed a terrified boy and declared that his turn had arrived, sending him running into the darkness with only a small dog beside him for company, before the soldiers coldly select another villager as their next piece of human bait. Their leader keeps calling for the next victim, treating each disappearance like routine fieldwork, as adults and children are fed into the forest one by one, never returning to the group. The pattern becomes undeniable. The gunmen are using villagers to map the path, replacing each person who disappears, and once the final stretch seems close, their red-haired commander points directly at Su Ling, meaning the nightmare continues until her own turn finally arrives at the forest's edge. She enters alone and quickly realizes the black fog warps perception with powerful hallucinations, forcing her to run in one direction while the armed group follows at a distance. Inside that illusion, she suddenly sees glowing silhouettes of her missing parents holding hands, and races toward them crying out for both of them to wait for her, only to tumble through darkness and awaken after their images vanish completely again. At the bottom of a pit, she finds a strange flower and realizes it guided her there, its crimson petals glowing beside the object her captors have been sacrificing villagers to locate, an ancient coffin wrapped in massive roots and buried deep within the forest ruins. Knowing the invaders caused the deaths and disappearances, she vows they will not claim both treasures, and since she cannot destroy the coffin, Su Ling swallows the mysterious flower herself. The gamble upgrades her body, lightens every movement, and grants clear vision through the night. But the search party soon finds the site and airlifts the massive coffin away. Their scar-faced employer explodes with rage when he learns the flower is missing, ordering the soldiers to recover it from Su Ling, kill her, or forfeit their payment, which sends the entire armed unit chasing her from the forest toward Lion Mountain. Back in the cave, Miaozhu erupts over their cruelty while the ghost finishes recounting everything, and Lu Fan connects the spirit coffin flower to her special constitution, with her obsession equally obvious. That obsession is revenge, burning brightly enough to anchor Su Ling's spirit all by itself, while Lu Fan concludes the coffin must be valuable if mercenaries were willing to massacre villagers for it. Because everything happened below his mountain, he decides to investigate before the next spiritual energy surge reshapes the region. He also needs eyes outside, so the king promises her problems become his once she accepts their bond, then directly asks whether she is willing to become his ghost from now on. Su Ling freezes before the massive lion, weighing that offer against everything she lost, but tears fill her eyes as she accepts and pledges herself to the king. The binding succeeds, triggering a ghost chain mission and awarding one yang body fragment, which instantly grabs Lu Fan's attention because 10 fragments could restore a human body. Ever since reincarnating as a golden lion, his system has boosted every stat through ordinary actions. Yet this is the first mission with a proper reward since he became Lion Mountain's Demon King, and its objective is stranger still. Resolve Su Ling's obsession, making her a loyal ghost servant. The first fragment alone grants a human form for one day, while 10 unlock the full yang body, so an energized Lu Fan immediately asks what obsession he needs to handle. Assuming revenge is the obvious quest marker after everything the mercenaries did here, Su Ling nervously insists she would never burden her king or cause trouble on purpose. She only wants to find her loved ones and recover their bodies if they are dead, and her selfless answer leaves the usually smug lion impressed by her maturity. Rather than risk leaving his territory, he exhales demonic energy and shapes a smaller lion clone, assigning it to protect Su Ling while his main body guards Lion Mountain through the coming spiritual energy wave. Before sending them out, Lu Fan's main body condenses a pink mass of demonic energy for Su Ling, the strange blob holding the silhouette of a curved fang as it stabilizes. She accepts the gift, and its fragile shell splits open between her hands, releasing a violent pressure wave that sweeps through the cave and rattles everyone nearby. What remains is a razor-sharp beast fang saturated with the king's powerful energy. He explains that the foggy road is dangerous, making a proper weapon essential, and the grateful ghost wipes away fresh tears while thanking her king again. Miaozhu also projects a small flame avatar directly from Su Ling's shoulder, promising enough light to guide them through any darkness still lingering on the path. With weapon, escort, and illumination secured, she thanks both companions again before they depart together. Soon the little party reaches Mang Village's mountain stream beneath a sky filled with fireflies, where Su Ling explains the black fog vanished immediately after the coffin was removed, although the clone senses an unnaturally dense concentration of yin energy still hanging ahead. And that warning becomes horrifyingly concrete when scattered human skeletons cover the trail. Among them, Su Ling recognizes Grandpa Li's shirt wrapped around one seated skeleton, confirming the missing villagers were killed by the black fog before anyone could rescue them. Miaozhu recoils because bodies from yesterday have already been stripped down to bare bone, while the lion clone studies the field, seemingly calm despite the oppressive energy, then raises one glowing paw and invokes karma, promising peace for good souls and torment for evil ones. Blue light floods the skeletons, liberating the dead from their lingering suffering and clearing the haunted path. The clone explains that his light purified those wronged souls and returned them to reincarnation synchronization, after which Su Ling gathers the nearby remains into graves and wishes everyone peace. Her parents are still missing, however, so the group agrees to search deeper and leaves the burial ground behind, following the trail toward the old coffin site. The clone soon detects armed people ahead, exactly where the coffin once rested. Two surviving mercenaries lounge among the roots, joking about torturing the girl when they catch her, while casually eating beside the skeletons and mocking each other's truly disgusting appetite. Because even these creeps recognize that dining beside fresh corpses is deeply messed up, one red-haired soldier reveals the nearby remains belong to the girl's parents, expecting her return, then deliberately crushes a skull beneath his boot to erase part of that evidence. And both men laugh about destroying the corpse, unaware their target is already watching. Su Ling's grief hardens into rage as violet energy crackles around her spirit. Her hand tightens around the demon-infused fang, ready to settle the score immediately. But the lion clone stops her, after sensing another group approaching the clearing. A helicopter sweeps overhead and lowers a powerful newcomer directly onto the site, prompting every mercenary below to stand and greet their superior. Lord Mei Yun, she is Mei Yun of the Jushin organization, and she mocks Luo Ye for recovering only the coffin. The soldier reports that the missing flower was eaten by a girl from Mang village, but the newcomer dismisses it as a bonus, claiming the coffin's unborn contents are the real treasure, and drops into the root-covered pit to retrieve whatever she actually came for. Mei Yun explains that 49 unjustly killed ghosts spent 81 years condensing a rare substance inside the coffin, and the glittering gray material resting in her palm is called 3-life soul soil. Meanwhile, the distant lion clone suddenly senses that same treasure and freezes in surprise, triggering the shared system to identify 3-life soul soil and unlock one intelligence point. Lu Fan discovers the new stat lets him see every vein inside his own body, while a nearby green snake notices her king's strange reaction and nervously watches him. The blushing serpent timidly addresses him, apparently mistaking his intense stare for personal interest. He awkwardly looks away and whistles, leaving the confused snake wondering what just happened, because even with constant system upgrades, this is his first genuinely awakened special perception. Beyond his body, the upgraded sight reveals spiritual energy surging through Lion Mountain like glowing veins, and one brilliant root-shaped convergence there immediately catches the Lion King's full attention. Back at Mang Village's northern mountain sarcophagus ruins, Mei Yun rejoins her waiting soldiers. She displays the precious soul soil, earning awed congratulations for another massive achievement, but her cold smile warns that public recognition is absolutely not what she wants. The mercenaries quickly promise to keep everything secret, hoping loyalty will save their skins. Mei Yun replies that only dead people keep secrets, casually ordering them to kill themselves. Their terrified captain instead rallies the squad, and every furious gunman turns against her. She activates a glowing violet arrow-shaped mark around her wrist before they can fire. Gunfire erupts from every direction, yet the bullets streak uselessly around her powered silhouette. Then Mei Yun blitzes through the squad with a delighted grin, beginning her ruthless counterattack. Her sword becomes a blue flash, carving through screaming gunmen before their barrage can matter, and she gloats that Luo Ye spent his emergency treasure, manpower, and resources while she claimed the jackpot, holding the blood-splattered soul soil aloft. Mei Yun declares it far more magical than the coffin. As pale violet wisps coil around the glittering treasure, visibly responding to spilled blood, she credits idiot Luo Ye's villager bait for finding the coffin after his entire squad died. That confession sends Su Ling charging from cover, blue ghost flames blazing around her, but Mei Yun instantly dodges the demon Feng's first strike and demands her attacker's identity. From hiding, the clone and Miao Zhu realize this human can somehow see their ghostly companion. Su Ling regrets instinctively dodging the counterattack, remembering physical blades should pass through her. Mei Yun scans the apparently empty clearing, convinced nobody visible launched that surprise strike. Yet her golden bracelet insists a target exists, so the veteran trusts its detection. She slides on enchanted purple glasses, and a delighted smile spreads across her face. The lenses project a targeting interface over Su Ling and classify her as a yin soul. Finally visible to her enemy, the furious ghost vows to avenge both murdered parents. Mei Yun laughs that death still has not quieted this stranger, then asks whose parents she killed. Her cruel excuse is simple. Nobody remembers every insignificant ant they have crushed previously. Enraged beyond restraint, Su Ling rockets forward again with the violet fang leading, but Mei Yun meets her midair and blocks the supernatural weapon with one brutal sword swing. Watching closely, the clone suspects this is neither Mei Yun's first ghost fight nor accidental confidence, and concludes her specialized gear probably gives her a nasty counter against spirits. The clone's eye widens as Mei Yun suddenly launches another dangerous anti-spirit slash, so he channels a golden dragon-shaped aura towards Su Ling before the blade connects. The incoming sword arc still forces her backward, its blue energy cutting straight through ghostly defenses. Su Ling reels in disbelief because an ordinary weapon should never touch her bodiless form, and her opponent smugly confirms this sword was forged specifically for hunting ghosts. With direct clashes hopeless, the rookie spirit decides to dodge an attack from a blind spot. She circles behind the red-haired hunter and spots the opening beside her flowing hair. Yet Mei Yun reads the trick and smashes her aside, declaring every tactic useless. Miao Zhu begs the king to intervene because newly dead Su Ling cannot match an awakened fighter. The clone hesitates, admitting his own personality normally favors letting people handle their business, but decides true revenge should come from Su Ling's hands, then releases Violet killing intent. Mei Yun raises her sword for another finisher, only to lose track of every attacker. Su Ling materializes behind her with the fang at her throat while the bracelet seemingly malfunctions. The clone praises her first battle as barely acceptable, and she apologizes for charging recklessly. He explains the bracelet follows hostile intent, while the glasses merely confirm what its wearer senses. And Mei Yun trusts that detector over her own vision after apparently suffering illusions before, meaning the clone deliberately flooded her senses with killing intent and scrambled the bracelet's direction. Miao Zhu admires the sneaky king, while he sternly warns Su Ling against future recklessness. Smoke suddenly engulfs Mei Yun, who snarls that the little ghost clearly brought helpers, and Su Ling looks baffled as the hunter's next move begins unfolding around them. Mei Yun bursts from the smoke with glowing red eyes, apparently revived and swinging overhead. Su Ling intercepts the anti-ghost blade, determined to keep it away from her spiritual companions, then bites its edge with the empowered fang and kicks the hunter's sword arm apart. Miao Zhu celebrates the impressive counter, while Su Ling casually credits previous experience slaughtering cattle. The severed arm hits the ground still gripping its sword, but black tendrils keep writhing. Mei Yun's body becomes a shadowy puppet with red eyes and thread-like energy replacing the missing limb. Su Ling covers mouth, understandably horrified by this deeply cursed second phase. The clone reasons that her human body died, yet some separate duplicate or vessel remains active, and decides to test his newly unlocked intelligence against the bizarre regeneration gimmick. His enhanced sight now identifies 3 life soul soil energies saturating the reanimated hunter. Then he remembers Mei Yun deliberately dripped her blood onto that treasure earlier. Black cords whip the severed sword arm through the air like a horrifying remote weapon. More spectral blades erupt around Su Ling, expanding the puppet's offense from every angle. She realizes the wider attack range carries slower recovery whenever Mei Yun retracts those weapons, so the ghost dives through that opening, aiming her fang directly at the puppet's core. A barrage called Shatter Snow Thousand Slash collides around her, turning the charge into blade hell. The dark mass across Mei Yun's torso suddenly swells, red tendrils spreading like hungry roots. Su Ling spots the mutation too late and freezes inches from the target. A monstrous mouth opens within the shadow, lashing outward to swallow the reckless attacker. And Miao Zhu screams Su Ling's nickname as Black Boards sees her at point-blank range. Miao Zhu begs for intervention, but the clone worries that risking his primordial spirit could end terribly. Meanwhile, razor tendrils pierce Su Ling's limbs and lock down even her empowered fang. The cords wrap her entire ghostly body, dragging a scream from the trapped rookie. Golden power suddenly tears through the snare as her king condemns anyone bullying his people. He consumes the Yang body fragment, unlocks Yang body level 1, and catches Su Ling in muscular humanoid form. The Lion Man's first words are another exasperated warning about her absolutely reckless behavior. Su Ling stares wide-eyed at this towering new form, recognizing her king beneath the upgraded physique. Behind them, the soul soil puppet reels backward as red tendrils thrash violently. He orders Su Ling and Miao Zhu to hold their breath, cover their ears, and empty their minds, then inhales deeply, gathering enough air to make the whole clearing regret existing. Lion's roar detonates at point-blank range, blue shockwave rings expanding across the ruins. The blast pulverizes Mei Yun's shadow vessel and strips its dark mass from the corpse. Freed white spirits scatter through the night while the humanoid lion stands untouched amid fading energy. He casually retrieves the fallen anti-ghost sword, testing its heavy curved blade with one claw. Defeating a novice rank awakener boosts strength, 3 sight, and toughness, while Lion's Roar gains 3 power. The system absorbs 1 3-life soul soil, grants 2 intelligence, and registers Crimson Cloud with sword skill +10. Yet the king suddenly notices his humanoid neck still has fur, exposing one awkward transformation flaw. He howls that even this supposedly handsome young body has levels, feeling scammed by his own system, and embarrassingly discovers the rest of his lion anatomy also stayed very much original. Miao Zhu complains he vaporized the enemy and scattered the treasure, but he dismisses those tiny details. Miao Zhu gushes over the cool new form while remaining soul soil raises intelligence 7 points to level 2. An upgraded perception lets the Lion Man see individual motes of spiritual energy floating through open air. Su Ling thanks her king, yet the ghost chain mission remains incomplete because her obsession still lingers. He gently acknowledges that defeating one enemy has not truly satisfied her need for revenge, so he wraps himself in a hooded cloak and proposes investigating the organization below the mountain. Dawn breaks over the ruins, creating a suddenly lethal problem for both exposed spirits. Miao Zhu panics because she lacks a yang body and dives toward her king for shelter. Su Ling follows immediately, begging for protection from the rising sunlight as well. She burrows underneath his enormous cloak, turning the escape into unexpected slapstick chaos. Then the king remembers ghosts can possess bodies and gets one spectacularly questionable idea. He points toward Mei Yun's intact corpse, ordering Su Ling to use it as a disguise. The ghost loudly refuses because she considers the dead woman ugly, but practicality wins anyway. Walking downhill inside the stolen body, she receives instructions to impersonate Mei Yun around every mercenary. Su Ling nervously agrees while adjusting to the muscular vessel and its intimidating scarred face. Her cloaked king declares they will infiltrate the organization itself and meet its members head-on. A translator credit card briefly interrupts the action before their undercover road trip continues. By full daylight, the disguised pair reaches a military truck and the surviving mercenary checkpoint. Tired soldiers immediately recognize the possessed body and welcome Lord Mei Yun back. She confirms the treasure was obtained, then orders everyone to return directly to their original base. When someone questions her mysterious cloaked companion, fake Mei Yun shuts him down without explanation. Boarding their helicopter without hesitation earns the undercover king one courage point from his approving system, and the aircraft lifts above endless green mountains. Carrying this chaotic infiltration towards civilization, a pilot announces their arrival at Lion Ridge City, revealing the organization's distant urban territory. Below, skyscrapers stand beside abandoned overgrowth and gigantic beasts. With 10 minutes remaining before landing, one enormous horned monster sleeps against a ruined wall as insects circle its battered hide. Elsewhere, picked clean ferocious beast skeletons form jagged fields of valuable but extremely dangerous remains. Mercenaries mock scavengers risking death for bones, black market profits, or the jackpot of a monster core. Their cruel laughter darkens possessed Mei Yun's face, nearly blowing Su Ling's intimidating disguise. A nervous soldier backpedals, claiming they only trust an awakened leader rather than chase money. The king spares their lives, gaining one wisdom point for mercy while studying humanity's shattered city. Unlike thriving Lion Mountain, urban civilization outside now resembles an overgrown post-apocalyptic battlefield. Their helicopter finally settles onto a fortified rooftop pad inside the ruined metropolis. Fake Mei Yun calmly praises the escort's work, keeping her performance steady until touchdown. Then blue blade arcs erupt inside the cabin, dropping the remaining soldiers before anyone reacts. The infiltrators approach a towering headquarters openly labeled Strong Organization, apparently Zhu Xin's local base. Miao Zhu calls the enemy headquarters unimpressive and suggests one royal breath could erase it. Her king refuses the speedrun, deciding they should play with these enemies and investigate first. Soon unconscious suited guards litter a dark corridor while the disguised intruders search deeper inside. He rejects one stolen jacket as hilariously undersized. While Miao Zhu mentions clues from previous investigation, an archives sign answers that concern, instantly redirecting the cloaked lion toward the records room. Level 2 intelligence flares through his eyes, scanning beyond the sealed archive door, and outlines another armed intruder already sneaking among the filing cabinets, making this heist surprisingly crowded. The stranger is a brown-haired woman in office clothes, sweating while aiming a heavy pistol. Before Su Ling can react, the cloaked king steps forward and opens the door himself. The hidden woman hears them approaching and steadies her weapon beside the entrance. She fires instantly, launching one glowing blue projectile straight toward the unexpected intruders. Its energy beam punches through the brown cloak and strikes the lion man's chest. Su Ling curses furiously and raises her violet fang, ready to dismantle the shooter. Her king holds her back and confirms he is completely fine despite the direct hit. Studying the fading blue particles, he realizes the bullet itself was constructed from spiritual energy. The gunwoman panics because her specialized ammunition failed to penetrate him. Identifying him as an awakened, she squeezes the trigger again, spraying multiple spiritual rounds across the confined archive entrance. Blue beams chew countless holes through his cloak, yet his actual body barely notices. A tiny lightning-charged finger flick answers the barrage back with hilariously restrained force. The pistol explodes into harmless chunks between the stunned intruder's hands before she understands what happened. He grabs her wrist next, warning that continued resistance may exceed his shaky power control. Seeing claws beneath the cloak, she mistakes him for some beast-man fusion experiment created here. Completely overpowered, the woman stops struggling and invites whatever interrogation her captors want. The king asks why someone outside Strong Organization has invaded its private archives. Although secretly chasing a stolen company project, she only claims she came to collect data. The captors answer her weak excuse with prolonged silence, still holding both wrists overhead. Intelligence-enhanced vision notices a folded object hidden inside the intruder's blouse, immediately exposing her secret. One careful claw plucks the concealed paper free while she yells at the shameless search. Ignoring her furious blush, the lion unfolds what turns out to be a detailed regional map. Lion Mountain is circled as an explicit target, instantly turning his curiosity into territorial rage. Night falls around Strong Organization as another helicopter arrives beside the glowing headquarters tower. A guard announces that headquarters leaders have come for Lord Luo Ye, accelerating everyone's schedule. The Hidden King grimaces because these reinforcements reach the branch far sooner than expected. Su Ling hears Luo Ye's name and nearly breaks character under a fresh surge of hatred. Deeper inside, a subordinate finally presents the recovered ancient coffin requested by headquarters. 3 senior figures inspect it by candlelight, mocking the theatrical handling of their mysterious cargo. They are B-rank branch manager Luo Ye and S-rank headquarters secretary Mei Hui. Watching from the hallway, the infiltrators locate the coffin but choose observation over another immediate rush. Luo Ye offers movers. Yet Mei Hui confidently says headquarters personnel will handle everything. She casually calls for Wu Gang, summoning a massive shadow directly behind her. One thick arm plants against the coffin. An overwhelming force shakes the entire chamber. The newcomer is Wu Gang, an A-rank awakener and headquarters security captain built like a tank. Sensing his pressure from cover, the lion recognizes yet another powerful awakened opponent. MANHWA unexpectedly questions Luoye for arranging extra help after she explicitly declined it. Then she whips a ring-shaped energy probe down the hallway, announcing hidden people nearby. The cloaked lion intercepts MANHWA's detection ring with one fist, shredding its spinning energy. He respects her ability to sense his presence, while she identifies another awakened intruder. Furious about a rat sneaking inside, Luoye charges first and promises immediate execution. His opening kick slices through empty cloak because the lion shifts aside at the last instant. Luoye praises those reactions, grinning as though the first miss was merely warm-up. He accelerates into overlapping afterimages and ferociously unloads a combo from every direction. Every impact grants another toughness point, while the bewildered target barely attempts to counterattack. Confidently winning, Luoye reaches for the hood and demands his opponent's true identity. One sharp yank finally tears away the ruined cloak, exposing golden mane and horn. Luoye instantly classifies him as a Beastman Awakener with exceptional reactions and defense. Across the chamber, Manhwa blushes and privately decides the Lion Man looks incredibly handsome. Still showboating, Luoye asks whether light itself has ever delivered a kick. Golden speed acceleration electrifies his shoe as he launches one supposedly unstoppable finisher. The glowing strike crashes into the lion's guard, but its force rebounds catastrophically. Both attacking legs crack against that absurd defense, reducing the flashy combo to instant self-destruction. Defeating the B-rank attacker grants 6 speed, 2 prestige, and 6 more toughness. Miao Zhu celebrates another easy victory, although her king protests he never actually attacked. Manhwa watches in disbelief because a B-rank awakener just folded against passive defense. Wu Gang calls Luoye weak, steps forward, and promises a proper demonstration. The A-rank powerhouse grabs the ancient coffin and hurls its massive weight straight down the hallway. Multiple golden afterimages catch the airborne coffin together and gently guide its colossal weight downward. The irritated king calls it valuable treasure and lectures Wu Gang about endangering children, flowers, and grass. Wu Gang offers only stunned silence, apparently unprepared for environmental criticism during a death match. Then muscle liberation activates, swelling his already ridiculous body while both eyes blaze red. He boasts that a nanoscale carbon fiber vest keeps his expanding muscles from exploding during official review. Miao Zhu dryly observes that wearing it somehow makes this muscle freak look even more perverted. Wu Gang ignores the roast and launches a fist nearly wider than his opponent's torso. Su Ling dives between them with the violet fang, declaring the oversized captain should die instead. Her blade sinks into his chest, but his indestructible body traps it inside iron-hard muscle. She strains desperately and discovers the fang dagger cannot even be pulled back out. Wu Gang declares muscle supreme and claims nothing remaining in this world can harm him. One violent flex ejects both weapon and attacker, blasting Su Ling's across the corridor. Her king questions whether this muscle fanatic ever trained his brain, then closes in. A casual clawed hand catches Wu Gang by the face before the giant processes that insult. The lion slams his enormous body flat onto the floor, proving intelligence beats swollen stats. Manhwa watches coldly, dismissing her male colleagues as simple-minded trash blessed only with strong limbs. Unlike them, she climbed from homeless orphan to elite secretary through brains, patience, and ruthless ambition. Her confidence also comes from a special awakened ability, introduced with shamelessly seductive teasing. Manhwa discards her coat to reveal sleek black combat gear and invites the lion forward. Then overwhelming charm floods the room, boosted to an absurd 1,000-point seductive aura. Manhwa explains any male, human, or beast becomes her obedient slave after succumbing to charm. Instead of obeying, the golden lion stares blankly, leaving her provocative pose awkwardly unanswered. Manhwa realizes her 1,000-point trick completely failed, and genuine panic replaces all that confidence. Her golden eyes sharpen, searching for the impossible reason her signature power bounced off. She recognizes his unused yang energy and pure yang body, naturally immune to ordinary charm. Refusing defeat, she amplifies the technique to forcibly drag his buried desire into the open. The effect finally lands, and the lion clutches his head as unfamiliar heat surges loose. His restraint snaps with a thunderous roar, blazing yang energy exploding from every muscle. A translator credit splash briefly interrupts the showdown before the lustfire disaster resumes. Back in battle, colossal golden flames coil around him, transforming suppressed desire into a raging inferno. Su Ling recoils behind her burning king, terrified by his sudden berserk transformation. Driven entirely by instinct, he whirls toward her, and she barely dodges the flaming lunge. His bloodshot blue eye locks onto Manhwa again, promising very dangerous aggro. She realizes the unleashed pure lust fire cannot be controlled. Not even by its caster. Worse, the ability cannot be cancelled, leaving her kneeling before the blazing monster she created. Manhwa's seductive confidence crashes into pure dread as her own trap becomes catastrophic. Su Ling demands answers while Miao Zhu confirms their king has been infected by lust fire. The candle demon explains Heartfire mixes desire and karma, normally balanced through innate chi. Without intervention, instinct will consume him alive, so they must somehow extinguish that lust fire. That inferno reaches Manhwa first, wrapping her body in heat while she cries dramatically. Su Ling says the culprit deserves this mess, but Miao Zhu warns one woman is insufficient. Having evolved through absorbed royal energy, the candle demon understands nobody can endure his accumulated desire. The berserk lion grabs Manhwa through the flames, turning her own power into nightmare fuel. Su Ling refuses to watch him burn, while Miao Zhu wonders whether she can bear it. As a living candle flame, flame, she claims compatibility with every supernatural fire in the world. Miaozu boldly volunteers to handle the crisis, activating her powerful fire ancestral reincarnation. Spiraling blue energy collides with the golden inferno, startling even the instinct-driven lion. Her tiny spirit form enters the blaze, steadily absorbing its overwhelming heat and power. With visible effort, she asks her king for just a little more lust fire. Golden eyes emerge inside the conflagration as Miaozu demands the entire burning curse. Now transformed into an adult flame woman, she embraces him and devours the remaining inferno. MANHWA awakens blushing and stunned, honestly surprised she survived her catastrophic miscalculation. Drained of the dangerous flames, the lion collapses backward while she scrambles away. Su Ling immediately pins MANHWA with her violet fang, threatening to slit the vixen's throat. Meanwhile, the recovered king enters Sage mode, gaining 100 mind, 10 focus, and 100 credit. The system also expands his fire attribute and awards the newly learned Sacred Fire technique. He rises groggily and spots Su Ling restraining MANHWA behind him in the hallway. Then adult Miaozu's nearly uncovered form triggers a wild explosive anime-grade nosebleed. She innocently checks on him while Su Ling furiously prevents MANHWA from escaping responsibility. Miaozu confirms she devoured his lust fire and will shrink back after fully digesting it. Su Ling blames the vixen for everything and tightens her grip, fully intending to execute her. MANHWA meets that death threat with a smirk and defiantly refuses to permit her execution. Sudden golden energy flashes around Su Ling, interrupting both women before any killing strike lands. MANHWA immediately kneels before the lion, offering complete cooperation in exchange for mercy. He asks why her organization hunted the three-life soul coffin and what purpose it serves. She only knows the artifact enables reincarnation, leaving its true mechanics frustratingly classified. Ancient records promise inheritance through illusion and reincarnation, but failure disperses the soul and reduces the body to dust. The king briefly considers using it for his young body, then judges that gamble ridiculously dangerous. Su Ling leaves the possessed body and volunteers for the trial, ready to risk herself. He refuses until the system completes her ghost mission and boosts soul coffin success by 30%. Enraged, he calls the reward garbage because improved probability still leaves a very real death roll. Su Ling insists her life belongs to him and begs to prove herself worthy as his ghost servant. After one heavy pause, her reluctant king finally allows the dangerous attempt at last. Sacred fire wraps her spirit as he lowers her into the coffin, adding supernatural insurance. He promises to yank her out whenever her heart fire shows any sign of extinguishing. Su Ling settles inside the ancient vessel and calmly tells her king to begin. The coffin erupts beneath a crimson void, filled with falling golden symbols and ominous energy. Her white-haired spirit lies motionless inside, waiting for the artifact's illusion to claim her. A complex violet formation detonates around the open coffin, officially launching the reincarnation trial. Su Ling awakens overlooking Mong village at sunrise, and the painfully familiar illusion begins. Inside the dream, she inhabits her living black-haired body and instantly recognizes the surrounding woods. Her supposedly dead parents call Xiaoling home for dinner, sounding heartbreakingly ordinary. Tears overflow as their familiar voices and smiling faces reflect inside her stunned eyes. She repeatedly labels everything an illusion, desperately trying to resist the emotional bait. Yet longing wins one small round, and she decides to visit them for only one glance. Swirling dream energy follows her into the house, where both parents wait beside a warm meal. The family laughs, eats, and drinks together until the trial bends time and memory completely. Outside, Miaozu reports stable vitality, while the worried king hopes she survives this calamity. The illusion jumps to a wedding celebration, with villagers congratulating her delighted parents. Her father proudly welcomes guests, pleased that his daughter supposedly married an excellent husband. Draped in traditional red bridal clothes, Su Ling sits beside a faceless groom. She softly addresses the stranger as husband, already losing herself inside the manufactured life. Dawn approaches outside the coffin, and Miaozu warns her spirit will scatter unless she wakes. Although her heart fire still burns, mental resistance is collapsing, forcing immediate intervention. Refusing further delay, the golden lion thrusts sacred fire through the trial and reaches for her soul. His claw touches a red, spiritual core within the coffin's vast, starry dreamscape. The bridal illusion persists for another moment as Su Ling continues calling for her husband. Then the faceless groom blurs into her golden-maned king, whose voice pierces the false memory. He urgently calls Xiaoling, and recognition finally returns behind her confused green eyes. Her white-haired spirit awakens to the familiar king, shocked but fully conscious again. Before anyone celebrates, the coffin's crimson dimension surges again and surrounds Su Ling with blazing runes. Miaozu panics because daylight has already entered the chamber, leaving almost no time. Multicolored inheritance beams spear through Su Ling's seated spirit. As the coffin violently completes its process, golden fire races across her face, and both eyes ignite with overwhelming spiritual power. Watching the reaction stabilize, her king finally grins and declares the rescue worked. Su Ling sits upright inside the opened coffin, successfully reborn while both allies celebrate. The golden lion warmly welcomes his ghost servant back, looking unusually sincere for once. Tears stream down her smiling face as she thanks the king who refused to abandon her. Their bond grants 20 reputation, demonic sense level 3, plus overlook and communion skills. His brief illusion entry also awards convergence formula and chi absorption connected directly with Lion Mountain. MANHWA offers awkward congratulations on the reunion, then cautiously attempts to leave. A glowing finger flick catches her behind the ear before that suspiciously casual escape succeeds. Miao Zhu demands punishment for the witch who offended their king, sending MANHWA into tears. Instead, he remembers she unlocked sacred fire and decides this captive can upgrade his cultivation. Grabbing her shoulder, the lion commands his new evildoer assistant to begin cultivation support. Her assignment lasts until his sacred fire reaches perfection, which sounds alarmingly indefinite. Mei Hu stares in bewilderment as golden flames swell behind her brand new cultivation boss. Soon, the entire strong organization branch erupts beneath a colossal inferno, deleting the local stronghold. Cloaked again, the golden lion decides everyone targeting Lion Mountain must be eliminated. Then a warning interrupts his victory lap. The second spiritual energy revival is beginning very soon. Early morning reaches Lion Mountain as the second revival begins, mutating plants beneath violent energy currents. Ordinary wildlife twists into horned, swollen monstrosities. Proving this update brought serious balance changes, Green Snake races into the cave and urgently calls for her returning king. The system launches Expand Territory, explaining Lion Mountain now supplies his power through gathering chi. He immediately wonders whether this suspiciously generous system connection possesses any hidden limit. Naturally, failure means exploding from excess energy, while the territorial target starts at 0 of 100,000. Before panicking properly, he activates upgraded demonic sense to survey his mountain's full range. Overlook reveals every stream of demonic energy across the territory like a divine satellite feed. The golden fruit tree lies uprooted and its assigned pangolin guardian has vanished. Nearby, Chuan Shanyi curls around devastating injuries, barely conscious beneath the dust. Enraged that someone harmed his subordinate, the Mountain King expands Overlook to identify the attacker. Purple demonic residue leads away from the crime scene, giving his upgraded senses a perfect trail. The fleeing culprit is a colossal black centipede, glowing red through poisonous violet flames. He condemns the intruder for wrecking his territory and toppling Lion Mountain's primal spiritual root. Each golden fruit requires decades and grants 30 years of power, making the centipede premium fertilizer. The king mobilizes every beast, led by Restless the parrot and Zhao Qing the green snake. Ali, the white fox and western hall master, races alongside the charging force. Bear Brother, Lion Mountain's truly massive northern hall master, joins with fists ready. Their wounded guardian is Chuan Shanyi, Pangolin's second brother of Golden Peak, kneeling beside him. Bear Brother reports the pangolin still has a chance to survive. The king orders Bear Brother to protect Chuan Shanyi while centipede copies flood the slope. One armored monster roars directly at the mountain lord, displaying extremely poor survival instincts. Golden lightning gathers as he prepares Eastern Lion's roar to answer that disrespect personally. Xiaoqing interrupts, insisting such trash deserves a subordinate's attention instead of royal intervention. The green serpent lunges and bites the leading centipede before its red claws can react. Several additional bodies instantly coil around her, turning that confident interception into a swarm grapple. Chuan Shanyi apologizes for failing, while his king demands the so-called Earth Dragon's origin story. The pangolin explains it began as an ordinary earthworm loosening soil beneath the golden fruit tree. Revival energy mutated its body without improving intelligence, creating a gigantic, uncontrollable frenzy beast. Meanwhile, Xiaoqing tears into its segmented armor as multiple red legs close around her. The old earthworm survived year-round on fallen leaves and decaying fruit from the sacred tree. After mutation, every damaged section begins writhing independently, revealing a nasty regeneration gimmick. Earth Dragon Split produces more complete centipede bodies, making straightforward damage actively multiply the problem. The king finally understands the bizarre enemy really evolved from one humble earthworm. Xiaoqing coils around several copies at once, biting and crushing through their black armor. Unfortunately, every exchange generates additional monsters, and even she calls the endless spawning troublesome. Restless, Ali, and Bear Brother prepare to join. Unwilling to watch her get mobbed, Xiaoqing refuses assistance and claims this entire raid remains her personal matchup. She is cultivated beside the king day and night, so today becomes her graduation exam. Massive turquoise demonic aura engulfs the serpent, reshaping her body around one enormous rising horn. Dragon transformation unlocks dragon servant form, turning Xiaoqing into a majestic white eastern dragon. Every centipede copy freezes mid-charge. Suddenly aware that the matchup has become profoundly unfair, she unleashes dragon's breath, pouring a gigantic violet beam straight through the entire multiplying swarm. The blast erupts across Golden Peak, vaporizing the clustered monsters beneath one spectacular detonation. Smoke clears around Xiaoqing's massive dragon body as loosened scales tumble from the exhausted transformation. She settles back toward green serpent form, panting but visibly satisfied with that ultimate. Restless, Ali, and Bear Brother stare speechlessly before admitting her growth is genuinely impressive. Restless realizes her daily cave naps secretly involved absorbing the king's demonic energy for cultivation. Bear Brother and Ali accuse the smug snake of stealing favors, triggering immediate team bickering. Their jealous affection grants the amused king one reputation and one charisma point. Unfortunately, one damaged Earth Dragon remnant quietly crawls away beneath lingering violet smoke. The survivors notice too late as that last armored section burrows underground and escapes. Xiaoqing dives after the slippery bastard. Determined to finish her supposedly solo victory, the king stops careless pursuit because Lion Mountain's power source earth veins run directly below them. Instead, everyone descends carefully while sacred fire creates floating subflames for underground illumination. Ali accompanies the mountain lord as he asks Xiaoqing whether she found the fugitive. She admits losing it underground, where earth vein energy overwhelms smell and skin-based tracking. Demonic sense confirms the second revival flows through earth veins connected directly to his spine. He orders the entire group forward, promising to dig up that nasty bug regardless. Golden light leads snakes, foxes, bears, and other beasts through the branching subterranean tunnels. Deeper below, the king senses energy resembling his own den and suspects an ancient relic. Xiaoqing suddenly spots a chamber carpeted with broken weapons, bones, and fresh corpses. The hunted earth dragon remnant lies dead among the wreckage, killed before their arrival. Crimson energy churns above the bodies while a gigantic red umbrella slowly rises from the carnage. Steel spearheads dangle from its ribs, revealing this fashionable accessory as an extremely lethal weapon. Beneath it stands Qi Luo, a red-eyed woman who says the beasts arrived perfectly on time. Bear Brother discovers Wukong among the murdered subordinates and roars his name in grief. Xiaomi and Xiaopingtou also lie broken nearby, confirming multiple mountain beasts were slaughtered. The giant bear stares at his fallen companions, grief rapidly hardening into murderous rage. He demands whether this vicious umbrella woman caused the entire underground massacre alone. Qi Luo casually admits she ate them, apologizing only because she cannot swallow anything more. Bear Brother activates wild power, myriad tons, and charges with one truly furious paw. She catches that overwhelming strike on her umbrella, mocking his aggression while barely moving. Red energy crawls over his arm, and shocked fear replaces the bear's confident fury. From behind the crimson canopy, Qi Luo purrs that he badly overestimated his capabilities. Restless and Ali immediately join the fight, refusing to leave Bear Brother alone. Illusory radiance fills the cavern while Fox stealth. Shadow Descent launches multiple lightning-charged attackers. Ali's Ridge Claw rips toward Qi Luo as the umbrella's bladed web spins defensively. Simultaneously, crimson cords and the umbrella shaft hammer Bear Brother backward through the chamber. Ali snarls in alarm when the counterattack violently overwhelms her massive ally. Qi Luo laughs above the wreckage, dismissing every beast as unintelligent meat fit only for dinner. Golden lightning crackles as the silent lion asks whether she mistook restraint for terminal weakness. She doubles down with a fangy grin, calling the Mountain King nothing more than a tiny kitten. Lion's roar detonates through the relic chamber, blasting turquoise shockwaves straight toward her crimson canopy. Brocade's celestial defense style turns the umbrella indestructible, yet the roaring pressure visibly cracks its surface. The shockwave keeps advancing and finally hurls the damaged weapon backward despite Qi Luo's smug defense. Broken umbrella ribs spear into the floor, but red demonic cords continue writhing around the chamber. Liu Fan senses Qi Luo's energy still active, realizing a shattered umbrella did not finish her. Her detached presence admits direct combat is hopeless, then targets the subordinates he cannot protect simultaneously. The surviving umbrella spins overhead, gathering a monstrous crimson vortex for one nastier Phase 2 umbrella's universe. Devouring heaven and earth erupts, filling the chamber with enormous red feathered jaws. That alternate space attack slams Bear Brother and nearby beasts from several directions at once. Restless and Ali dodge desperately, recognizing the umbrella itself contains another predatory dimension. The loyal beasts rush to shield their king as crimson portals begin swallowing the battlefield. Multiple umbrella vortices converge on the Golden Lion, while Xiaoqing screams a warning. She coils around one incoming portal and tries physically stopping the impossible spatial attack. Crimson force lashes through Xiaoqing's body, making Bear Brother roar her name in panic. He answers with wild power. 1,000 pounds plunge, crushing down upon the nearest umbrella dimension. Watching both protectors endangered, their king shouts Xiaoqing and Big Bear with furious concern. A warmer memory surfaces. After routing the hyena clan, Bear Brother asks why their king always leads every charge, because a king must protect minions. He answers with cheerful certainty behind the current fury. Bear Brother privately decides proper minions should charge even farther ahead, explaining today's reckless loyalty. Back in present, crimson dimensions surround their kneeling ruler while the umbrella reforms below him. Memories ignite his eyes, and he demands that this monster return his family immediately. Sacred flames explode from his mane as the enraged lion launches one overwhelming rescue charge. The umbrella warps local space and freezes his advance, leaving the powerhouse unable to move. He still claws at its surface, pouring everything into breaking open the prison holding his crew. Qi Luo boasts her universe brocade repairs endlessly, making brute force damage completely useless. Its ribs come from an indestructible ancient divine tree, so even his fangs cannot crack them. She suddenly warns damaging her means never seeing his little companions again, weaponizing the hostages. That threat stops the blazing king cold. His fury briefly replaced by genuine horror. Fully reformed, the demon claims her brocade universe umbrella can liquefy every captured living being. He swallows the rage and firmly orders Qi Luo to release everyone inside. Her smile turns nastier as she offers one humiliating condition for freeing them. She extends a bare foot, demanding he lick it and become her obedient dog. The Mountain King bristles at the insult, but his trapped family gives her leverage. Pressing her foot against his mane, she mocks combat strength without basic shapeshifting intelligence. Chi-Luo explains human hands could open the umbrella, knowing beast form makes rescue impossible. With her toes at his mouth, she impatiently commands the cornered lion to start licking. He suppresses his pride and touches tongue to foot, choosing his captured companions over dignity. A campfire memory recalls the system awarding 4 bond points after he tamed another loyal companion. Returning to the insult, his narrowed blue eyes hide calculation instead of defeated pride. Chi-Luo keeps rushing him, threatening that every trapped companion will soon become blood. The supposed victim suddenly smirks and asks whether she truly believes her own threat. A humanoid hand seizes the umbrella ribs behind her, instantly flipping the hostage script. While beast and humanoid forms overlap, the smug king decides his timing could not be better. Chi-Luo recognizes the new aura as the lion's doppelganger and finally starts sweating. 2 returning allies race beside their king, announcing their perfectly timed comeback together. The pair cheerfully ask whether he missed them while the ambusher lies flattened behind. Now equipped with human hands, he grips the umbrella and confirms opening it releases his minions. Chi-Luo lunges forward, screaming for him to wait, her confidence officially deleted. He ignores her and yanks the stubborn shaft apart with both clawed humanoid hands. The sudden force leaves Chi-Luo flustered, breathlessly complaining that the lion is too rough. Finding the mechanism unusually tight, he keeps wrenching it open with effortless battle-seasoned confidence. She begs him to stop because the forced opening hurts, but negotiations already ended. With one final pull, the gigantic crimson canopy bursts fully open and cracks apart. Chi-Luo reels from the backlash, losing her composure as the dimensional prison collapses. Bear brother Xiao Qing, Ali, and Restless spill safely onto the cavern floor. His temporary yang body fragment expires at that exact moment, dissolving the humanoid rescue form. Cyan butterfly-like lights hover over the exhausted rescued beasts as dust finally begins settling. A Cyan spirit confirms everyone merely lost consciousness, with no serious injuries from their imprisonment. Chi-Luo privately admits that across centuries, no beast ever terrified or forcibly opened her like this. She chooses retreat, planning to devour more monsters before returning powerful enough to humiliate him. Realizing escape means endless trouble, the king orders one ally to chase and another guard everyone. Su Ling climbs onto his back, and the blazing pair immediately pursue through the tunnel. Their wounded enemy rockets toward daylight beneath her restored umbrella, trailing demonic crimson ribbons. She clears the mountain like a missile, soaring high across the orange sunset sky. The giant lion bursts from the cavern with Su Ling riding securely between his manes. He launches after the airborne demon in one glorious leap, briefly looking completely unstoppable. One problem: the Lion King cannot actually fly, making this aerial chase hilariously under-spexed. A towering stone spike erupts beneath him, extending his jump while debris floods the sky. From her umbrella, Chi-Luo mocks the little kitty for apparently learning flight. Sacred fire technique. Golden flame devour answers, manifesting a colossal burning lion head. The blazing predator surges through the sky, nearly swallowing Chi-Luo and her umbrella whole. Forced to block, she admits this lion has too many tricks and abandons the fight. Chi-Luo vanishes into the sunset, promising another meeting while her laughter lingers obnoxiously. Unable to track her concealed demonic energy, the frustrated king realizes future trouble is guaranteed. Meanwhile, Su Ling remembers losing flight after accepting a young body through the stone coffin. A mysterious inner voice repeats its paradoxical command: remember everything possible, then forget everything possible. She recognizes the coffin's voice and struggles to recall the crowded inheritance vision that transformed her. The command finally clicks, and Su Ling's wide eyes announce that the missing memory returned. Life character formula granted her young body inside the coffin, with golden runes confirming the inheritance. Crucially, that transformation is reversible, so the newly physical spirit was never permanently grounded. She activates life character formula, Yin Soul Transformation, wrapping herself in bright cyan ghostfire. Her body becomes spectral and weightless again, making the Mountain King stare in surprise. Su Ling explains she can freely switch forms now, then volunteers to chase Chi-Luo alone. He recognizes the inheritance needs continual stimulation and sends her out to grind real experience. One drop of the Golden Lion's blood becomes a protective trump card against the Umbrella Demon. Accepting the Crimson Safeguard, she promises her king that this training mission will not disappoint. Under moonlight, her cyan soul form rapidly closes on Chi-Luo's retreating Crimson Trail. The determined Spectre rockets forward and commands the escaping demon to halt immediately. Chi-Luo turns her umbrella defensively, but a purple spectral blade punches straight through. The ghost weapon tears the supposedly indestructible canopy, proving its materials possess serious hard counter energy. The shocked demon cannot understand how such a small spectre shredded what the mighty lion struggled against. Su Ling reveals her blade was forged from a fang her king shed, explaining the busted penetration. Enraged, Chi-Luo activates Umbrella Universe again and aims the Crimson Dimension directly at her. The canopy's suction snatches the cyan ghost mid-charge, dragging her toward its inner world. She tumbles helplessly through a deep red dimensional shaft while ghost fires spiral around her. The spatial passage ejects her like a meteor, smashing through rooftops inside a distant city. Bruised but conscious, the Soul Warrior rises among shattered buildings and catches her breath. The landing zone reveals Infinite Ancient Town, a vertically twisted maze of traditional buildings. She realizes Chi-Luo sucked her into another umbrella dimension and scans the impossible architecture. Corrosive rain immediately dissolves her spiritual energy, turning simple weather into constant damage over time. Knowing a prolonged stay means deletion, the stranded specter hurriedly searches for an exit. A sudden movement catches her eye before she can escape the poisonous downpour. Around the corner, grotesque fused demons writhe beside piles of stripped human and animal skeletons. She identifies them as dissolved demons, evidence that this realm has digested many previous victims. Su Ling retreats through the empty streets, prioritizing escape over farming those nightmare mobs. Despite sprinting away, the same rain-soaked block somehow stretches endlessly beneath her forever. She circles back to the fused monsters, realizing the town has looped her route. The trapped soul confirms ordinary escape is impossible and starts searching for the dimension's hidden rules, remembering danger can disguise safety. She faces the distorted city instead of fleeing blindly. Her bare foot launches from a rooftop as she commits to one reckless counter route. Cyan movement trails ricochet between buildings, carrying her directly toward the nastiest danger. The flesh cluster suddenly fills her path, proving the town can reposition enemies without warning. Su Ling crashes through smoke and rubble, narrowly avoiding a direct monster dog pile. She rises clutching her head, annoyed but still combat-ready amid the collapsing street. Gravity suddenly rotates, turning sky into front and walls into ground across the entire city. Chi Luo's gigantic spectral face appears overhead, revealing absolute control over this fabricated space. Refusing intimidation, Su Ling loudly challenges the hidden umbrella demon to face her directly. Her challenge receives only silence. While the warped town keeps draining her power through rain, corrosive droplets visibly eat through her spectral hand, confirming the attrition clock is almost finished. Remembering her friends escaped only when the umbrella opened, she fears nobody can rescue her now. Tearfully apologizing to her king, she touches the protective blood bead and accepts apparent defeat. The blood bead and fang blade suddenly rise together, refusing to let their wielder surrender. Golden, cyan, and crimson energies spiral around the floating weapon, triggering one emergency evolution. A gigantic blood-red blade materializes beside her, radiating the Golden Lion's protective power. Su Ling remembers always wanting to help him, yet repeatedly becoming the one rescued. She grips the enormous hilt, ashamed that despair nearly made her abandon that promise. Calling herself pathetic, the renewed soul swings the crimson weapon across the false city wall. A thunderous crack races through the structure, and something beyond the scenery finally reacts. That response reveals the wall is connected to a living target instead of ordinary architecture. Reviewing every encounter, she deduces Chi Luo's woman body is fake and the umbrella itself is real. Su Ling commits every remaining ounce of cultivation to destroying that true form permanently. She digs through the coffin inheritance, searching for a formula capable of breaking the encirclement. Red light consumes one eye as she vows to eliminate this danger for her king. Killing character formula activates Blood Butcher state, covering her soul in savage crimson corruption. With power skyrocketing, she raises the transformed weapon and tears another massive line through space. Bloodblade condenses all that murderous energy into one terrifyingly clean crimson edge. Tower Ascend erupts next, launching intersecting blood slashes upward through the inverted town. Outside the dimension, Chi Luo doubles over as Tower Ascend damages her true body directly. She realizes Su Ling is still attacking despite corrosive rain, and genuine panic replaces smugness. Inside, crimson cracks cover the specter while inverted rain begins retreating from her aura. The reversal confirms killing character formula is overpowering the town's erosion mechanics completely. Shattered Snow and Yin Remnant Longsword unleash a storm of intersecting crimson cuts. Every hit transfers pain to Chi Luo, who curses the relentless attacker clutching her abdomen. Suspecting the Golden Lion still tracks her energy, the wounded demon decides she cannot linger. Umbrella Universe answers with blood chi condensation, surrounding Su Ling in a rotating crimson seal. Blood concealment summons ranks of Yin soldiers shaped from countless victims previously swallowed by the umbrella. She recognizes those enslaved humans and demons, disgusted that Chi Luo weaponized everyone she devoured. Beast-shaped Yin soldiers roar beside humanoid ranks, forming one enormous undead gank squad. The Crimson Horde charges from every direction, forcing Su Ling into a true survival wave. Rather than panic, she smirks at the demon's unorthodox solution and tightens her grip. One sweeping crimson arc cleaves through the summoned army, scattering silhouettes like paper mobs. Back on Lion Mountain, the restless king prowls through moonlit grass awaiting her return. A system warning reports his bound specter overloaded, so demonic sense. Communion desperately calls her. Silence confirms something is wrong, and he fears her profound inheritance exceeds her shallow cultivation. If mishandled, that unpredictable power could cause a catastrophic disaster inside or beyond the umbrella. Infinite Ancient Town lies shattered beneath pink-killing winds, while corrupted Su Ling stands barely recognizable. Yet the blood-crazed specter declares destruction insufficient, insisting she still needs to kill. Chi Luo admits her remaining energy cannot sustain the confrontation and abandons absorbing the berserk specter. Umbrella Universe disperses around Su Ling, ejecting her from the collapsing Ancient Town dimension. Elsewhere, an armed construction exploration team approaches Lion Mountain through the forest at night. They complain strong organization colluded with officials to seize their development projects and resources. C-rank Awakener Bing Po argues the second revival makes immediate resource grabbing absolutely necessary. A subordinate worries because the government already awarded strong organization the Lion Mountain project. Bing Po dismisses government authority, noting every development group now hires mercenaries against rampant threats. The squad spots a glowing white-haired figure standing motionless farther along the mountain path, It is overloaded Su Ling, still wrapped in crimson cracks and bloody orchal flames, mistaking her for strong organization competition. Bing Po orders everyone to take her down. He opens with ice crystal, charging a blue-coated fist toward the unresponsive Spectre's back. Freezing energy closes around his hand as the cheap ambush approaches its target. A pink blood slash counters instantly, cutting through his attack before he understands anything. Bing Po screams over his severed hand, while the exploration team freezes in horror. His mercenaries recover and charge together, shouting for the mysterious woman to die. Su Ling answers with a broad crimson wave that tears across the entire path. Every attacker becomes a black silhouette inside the sweep, and none survives the massacre. Splattered with human blood, the corrupted Spectre smiles because its scent feels disturbingly delicious. Lu Fan arrives roaring her name, warning that tasting human blood could make recovery impossible. She raises one blood-soaked hand toward her mouth, but her horrified king commands her to stop. Ignoring the final warning, she licks fresh blood from her fingers and whispers the word hungrily. Lion's roar detonates around her, using overwhelming sound to smash through the murderous trance. Blue shockwaves tear away crimson corruption, forcing a monstrous scream from the overloaded soul. Her king catches the collapsing woman against his chest before she hits the ground. His tail curls protectively around her waist as the remaining killing aura finally fades. Holding her unconscious body, he regrets exposing her to a danger beyond her cultivation. Yet the second revival guarantees worse threats, meaning his Spectre must become stronger to survive independently. Surveying the dead intruders, he realizes ever more factions now covet Lion Mountain. The Demon King's eyes sharpen as he decides passive defense is officially over. Beneath the starry sky, he carries Su Ling home along the cracked mountain road. She awakens against his mane, confusion replacing every trace of bloodlust in her eyes. Recognizing her rescuer, the exhausted woman softly calls him king and gathers herself. Su Ling apologizes for failing against the Umbrella Demon, unaware how much destruction she caused. He reassures her that Qilua has been handled, protecting her from the messier truth. Delighted, she hugs his mane while the unimpressed lion accepts some enthusiastic head patting. Her confidence returns as she realizes her chase still contributed something useful to her king. Privately, he thanks the system, noting Qiluo's main body nevertheless escaped alive. A warning detects an unusual object stuck between his teeth. Adding one point of discomfort, he digs out a torn crimson scrap and examines the suspiciously familiar material. It is a universe brocade fragment from Qiluo's umbrella, accidentally looted during their fight. He wonders whether the fragment can locate Qiluo, whose concealment defeats even demonic sense. A new idea flashes across his eyes, turning useless loot into potential tracking tech. Sacred Fire Technique. Life Spirit Heartfire Manifestation wraps the brocade scrap in living flame. Its incredible vitality preserves a connection to the separated main body, exactly as he hoped. Because Sacred Fire now controls that link completely, he chooses to spare Qiluo for future usefulness. Dawn rises over Lion Mountain as the victorious king prepares a more political counterattack. Several beast officers loom over two bound women, cheerfully announcing that their captives finally awakened. Bear Brother asks whether they are snacks brought to replenish everyone after the brutal battle. The terrified women beg for release, offering silence and letting their captors decide everything. Multiple identity tags tumble beside the brown-haired captive, exposing a useful human world affiliation. The lion tells Shen Shuang her construction exploration team was annihilated by the Umbrella Demon. She reacts in horror, while he claims arriving too late allowed that murderer to escape. Her red-haired companion realizes Shuang belongs to the construction group and demands clarification. He adds one survivor. Su Ling then presents the white-haired Spectre as her new colleague. Su Ling quietly wonders how she became involved. While her king needs human-world intelligence, her mission is gathering relic information and inciting direct conflict between strong organization and construction interests. The hypnotized Shuang hugs her supposed colleague, loudly accusing Su Ling of secret cooperation. Spiral-filled eyes reveal Restless already used a hypnosis technique on the convenient survivor. As the parrot circles overhead, even Su Ling wonders when that stealthy mind control landed. She accepts the infiltration mission and leads her smiling hypnotized guide down Lion Mountain. Left behind, MANHWA tearfully demands to know why everyone else receives freedom. He reminds her she must assist Sacred Fire cultivation, ordering Bear Brother to bind and return her. With a dangerously pleased grin, the lion schedules another dual cultivation session. For tonight, Bear Brother carries away the protesting power bank while calmly acknowledging his king's orders. Su Ling and her hypnotized partner finally turn toward the mountain exit and resume their mission. Both women pause when their ruler suddenly calls them back for one last matter. A mountain-sized pile of golden fruits now awaits distribution among every gathered companion. Since the fallen golden fruit tree cannot recover, everyone receives an equal share of its harvest. Spirit flowers and exotic plants join the giveaway, fueling cultivation and aggressive territorial expansion. The entire beast army howls approval, instantly converting free loot into peak morale. Led by Lu Fan, Lion Mountain launches a vigorous expansion campaign against every neighboring monster group. The Lion Legion steamrolls nearby tribes, enlarging territory while absorbing fresh followers into command. Those linked gains double their king's strength as White Fox troops race across conquered slopes. North, east, and west peaks expand dramatically, unlocking mountain resistance, shattered rock palm, and earthquake. With territory energy surging, almost every meridian inside the Lion approaches complete activation. Meanwhile, Su Ling enters strong organization, using Shen Shuang and a construction group spy cover. 60 kilometers kilometers south across the river, White Tiger Ridge watches the shifting balance. A turtle advisor reports southern Lion Mountain forces expanding dangerously close to their border. One commander offers to repel them, while another boldly proposes seizing Lion Mountain instead. Their unseen White Tiger ruler agrees everyone wants opportunity during the second spiritual revival. The White Tiger ruler calls taking without giving impolite, promising Lion Mountain one nasty return gift. Across the border, birds, bats, reptiles, and monkeys mobilize while the forest suddenly grows restless. Dark swarms funnel into a hidden cave entrance, beginning the ridge's quiet underground counteroffensive. Meanwhile, expansion reaches 999,500 of 1 million, unlocking Gathering Level 2 and several terrain-related upgrades. Completion would unlock every Level 1 and Level 2 skill. While one Yang body fragment already arrives, sudden invasion warnings crash the celebration, draining territory progress by hundreds of points within seconds. Lu Fan activates demonic consciousness after learning Bayou District somehow slipped from his control. Bear Brother is equally confused because the local lizard family already joined Lion Mountain willingly. His field report claims Bayou remains completely normal, with no visible enemies or rebellion. Even demonic awareness detects nothing unusual, making the frustrated king suspect his cheating system malfunctioned. Refusing to trust the weird reading, he personally races toward Bayou to inspect everything. Local beast officers greet him normally inside the district, offering zero clues about any invasion, yet system warnings keep flashing as Bayou's territory value continues dropping in real time. Watching another chunk disappear, the lion realizes this hidden theft is still actively happening. Then Chichon District reports identical invasion losses, proving the attack covers multiple zones simultaneously. No visible monster should outpace him like this, so he starts hunting for one overlooked trick. An invisible enemy seems likely, except demonic awareness senses no suspicious evil spirit anywhere. Checking underground finally exposes the exploit. Massive rat swarms are tunneling beneath his borders. Golden power floods his raised paw as the mountain ruler prepares an instant pest control response. Lion's Claw activates, rupturing the ground and launching whole rat platoons from their tunnels. Bear Brother asks if these ordinary-looking rats caused the crisis, but his ruler points ahead. The answer is a full swarm, endless waves pouring from shattered tunnels with murderous red eyes. Snake confirms local rats are prey, meaning this invading horde definitely came from somewhere else. One oversized rodent suddenly lunges forward, turning the creepy flood into an immediate melee. Countless bodies avalanche toward the defenders, surrounding lion, bear, snake, and bird in seconds. The bird panics at their numbers, while Bear Brother refuses to let rats intimidate Lion Mountain. He slams down a golden-powered strike, bulldozing a broad path through the advancing swarm. The feathered fighter follows with arrow of 1,000 feathers, shredding rodents across the battlefield. Xiaoqing overeats until comically bloated, admitting one more rat would probably finish her. Unfortunately, the survivors keep charging, proving this infestation has more reinforcements than common sense. Suddenly, the rodents climb together, sculpting enormous dirt-covered arms and fists from living bodies. Their formation completes a towering rat king, dwarfing every stunned defender beneath its monstrous frame. The improvised giant locks onto the group, casting a shadow wide enough to trigger instant panic. Its massive tail and fist swing downward, forcing the lion to order everyone clear. The Rat King commits to the smash, purple eyes blazing as its clustered body accelerates. Bear Brother activates Wild Force Bear's claws, blocking the monster from touching Lion's sacred rock. The collision launches him through the air, and his shocked ruler roars after him. Golden lightning concentrates inside the lion's jaws, compressing rage into a point-blank counterattack. Lion's roar erupts as a blazing lightning strike, blasting straight through the giant formation. The beam punches into the Rat King's torso, scattering packed rodents beneath overwhelming golden power. The bird praises their king's firepower, believing his golden blast just deleted the entire boss. Bear Brother admires the destructive force too, but notices the victory screen feels suspiciously incomplete. Right on cue, the shattered giant dissolves back into thousands of perfectly functional rats. Before anyone can celebrate, the swarm dives underground again and resumes its evasive cheese tactics. Their bodies are weak but numbers absurd, and reaching Lion Mountain's soul veins would be catastrophic. Elsewhere, a scheming rat flatters the White Tiger ruler, suggesting Lion Mountain needs his protection. Back outside, the lion fractures whole terraces with earthquake, trying to expose every retreating tunnel. The rodents have burrowed beyond his attack range, leaving even the furious powerhouse unable to reach them. Xiaoqing exchanges a knowing glance with Lion Mountain's specialist underground hunters. Cueing Phase 2, moles, rabbits, snakes, and burrowers launch as Lion Mountain's underground team, taking the fight below. Xiaoqing leads the pursuit through cracked passages while white rabbits swarm after escaping enemies. She explains normal mountain rats never coordinate deliberately, making this army's behavior wildly unnatural. Ordinary colonies flee predators and prioritize reproduction, so repeated organized assaults require special leadership. That leaves one answer. The true Rat King is directing every swarm from somewhere underground. Bear confuses it with the defeated giant, but Xiaoqing calls that creature only a gathering phenomenon. Killing the actual boss is therefore the only way to break this endlessly respawning invasion. A massive red-eyed rodent emerges below, and Xiaoqing instantly confirms their target. She opens with Poison Sting, fangs glowing as venomous energy coils around her charge. The serpent crashes directly into the Rat King, splashing poison and lightning across its face. Her ambush draws blood from the oversized boss, finally proving this commander can be damaged. Xiaoqing's teeth ache after the brutal bite, earning awkward concern from her tunnel squad. Worse, defeating that giant changes nothing. The remaining rats keep marching without the slightest hesitation. She realizes size meant nothing, because the largest rat in one tunnel need not command everyone. A real mastermind would hide among countless bodies, carefully avoiding anything that made him stand out. Meanwhile, ordinary rodents reach glowing energy below, gnawing directly into Lion Mountain's spiritual veins. One attacker bites down greedily, cracking the radiant vein while stolen power floods its body. The absorbed aura mutates that rat into a massive golden beast, confirming the veins are feeding them. System alarms report damaged veins and leaking aura, sending expansion progress into another brutal nosedive. With his territory literally being eaten, the king orders Bear Brother to fetch MANHWA immediately. The red-haired cultivator arrives in a loose robe, startled by another emergency summon outdoors. Already furious about nightly duty, she demands to know what the shameless big lion wants now. Bear Brother explains rats invaded the mountain and their king needs her help locating the hidden boss. He clarifies she is not bait for rodents. Her role is drawing out all his sacred fire. MANHWA remembers nearly dying during his last awakening and questions this dangerously spicy plan. He insists his lust is controllable now, shutting down objections because the mountain has no time. She reluctantly prepares the seduction, privately finding his full lion form much stranger than human form. Double magic of lust activates, surrounding the embarrassed pair with hearts while desire spikes dramatically. The charm ignites Lu Fan's entire mane, transforming his restrained heat into surging holy fire. Connection to Lion Mountain now anchors his body, letting him maintain control despite the overload. Because the Earth Spirit vein is also his lifeline, holy fire condenses around his heart. Holy fire heart lets him route every spark of desire through meridians connected to the mountain. Golden fire races across the entire Earth Spirit network, turning glowing veins into a gigantic trap. Any rodent approaching the energy lines ignites instantly, roasting underground raiders before they can bite. Seeing the countermeasure work, the fiery lion finally allows himself one smug little breather. From White Tiger Ridge, its ruler warns that relaxing now would be hilariously premature. The armored tiger declares the rat's true terror remains unseen, framing this chaos as tutorial mode. Underground, surviving rodents keep swarming through side tunnels, completely ignoring their flaming casualties. The lion spots them still gnawing elsewhere, realizing his vein-wide firewall failed to end everything. Although waves burn at the barrier, fresh babies and adults continually replace every cooked attacker. Their absurd reproductive capacity breaks common sense, turning one surviving rat into an infinite spawn point. His attacks cannot reach every deep tunnel, while Xiaoqing's squad remains trapped below among multiplying enemies, cornered by impossible numbers. He spends another trump card and activates demonic Awe across the mountain. 5,000 prestige vanish, unlocking level 2 demon strength and deterrence with a 1-kilometer intimidation radius. Losing save prestige hurts his authority, but protecting the spirit veins matters more than leaderboard pride. A crushing blue-black aura erupts outward, blanketing monsters above and below with demonic pressure. Bear Brother takes the friendly fire pulse full force, wobbling as terror overrides his heroic posture. Birds and beasts everywhere freeze or collapse, proving the indiscriminate debuff hits allies too. The system awards huge suppression and extra strength, then docks merit for accidentally injuring 589 allies. Annoyed by the clumsy technique, he immediately asks where the hidden enemy is located. Xiaoqing resurfaces weakly with surviving tunnel fighters, while her worried ruler checks her condition. Xiaoqing claims she is fine, explaining demonic nightmares sometimes release pressure despite constant guard duty. She promises to resume hunting the true Rat King, but her ruler stops the exhausted serpent. His awareness cannot identify one rat among millions, and suppression only has a limited window. Xiaoqing asks for another plan, because flipping the entire mountain is obviously impossible. He answers with a simple counter-raid philosophy. When enemies attack home, smash their home instead. The lion and serpent immediately sprint south, abandoning defense for a high-risk offensive rotation. Expansion was always the real mission, so endlessly resisting rats only plays the enemy's game. Finishing it unlocks Create Life and Move Mountain, a combo capable of expelling every invader. Therefore, the true objective becomes White Tiger Ridge, mastermind and final territory needed for completion. The White Tiger ruler realizes his scheme was exposed, then roars an enthusiastic challenge. Lion Mountain's assembled beasts answer with their own battle cries, turning the ridge into raid night. Golden Lion and Green Serpent charge across the broken ground, leading the entire counterattack forward. Lightning surges as the armored White Tiger launches downhill, personally accepting the incoming duel. The two rulers stop across a shattered ravine, measuring each other before the first strike. Gold and blue power crackle around both kings, making their silent stare-down feel explosively loud. White Tiger recognizes Lion Mountain's ruler as extraordinary, finally finding an opponent worthy of maximum effort. The lion notes the spiritual revival keeps reshuffling missions, suggesting this confrontation was arranged early. He erupts with golden force and charges, refusing to overthink the suspicious timing now. White Tiger answers in blue lightning, sprinting headfirst toward the incoming golden powerhouse. Their opening collision detonates across the cliff, splitting the battlefield between blazing gold and electric blue. Gold and blue energy compress into a spinning blast sphere, swallowing the center of their collision. The resulting explosion buries the ridge in smoke and rubble, momentarily hiding both rulers. Even a crowned rat and nearby rodents are flattened by the shockwave, exposing their alliance. Face to face again, the lion wonders whether White Tiger shares his own demonic nature and power. White Tiger dismisses weaker followers as unworthy cannon fodder, keeping Crane and Turtle behind him. Both armies rush across the scorched battlefield, but the two kings remain locked on each other. The tiger suddenly invokes their old truce, asking why Lion Mountain would start an open war. His opponent calls expansion simply his job, while White Tiger demands a less ridiculous explanation. Claws settle against cracked stone, tension rebuilding as diplomacy reaches its predictable speedrun ending. Xiao Qing orders the armies forward, and every monster pair crashes into its chosen matchup. White Tiger ignores the mob battle, springing directly at the golden ruler with lightning claws. His first swipe catches the lion's mane, yet fails to produce the expected helpless victim. Golden Claw counters immediately, smashing the armored tiger backward before momentum can snowball. Shocked that his signature attack was answered, White Tiger dives back into the exchange. He cannot comprehend a lion refusing to submit, as his usual prey apparently follows different rules. The reincarnated former human beckons him closer, weaponizing confidence into maximum psychological damage. White Tiger notices his rival's aura recovered incredibly fast twice, finally abandoning every trace of contempt. Both rulers launch again across the slanted ridge, trading patience for another full-speed collision. A blue-charged fist slams into the lion's guard, exploding lightning between their faces. Feeling equal force behind the blow, he suspects White Tiger possesses the same raw power. The lion lands a clean punch across White Tiger's jaw, snapping blue lightning sideways with him. White Tiger instantly accelerates, boasting that raw strength means nothing if his rival cannot keep pace. Their narrowed eyes track one another through afterimages, calculating the next exchange in milliseconds. Gold and blue streaks ricochet across the ridge, trading dozens of blows too fast to follow. Thrilled by his first truly powerful enemy, Lu Fan loads another lion's claw with fire. He surges forward inside spiraling flames, converting excitement into a full-speed claw rush. White Tiger's armored defense barely yields, forcing the attacker to respect its ridiculous toughness. The tiger retaliates with lightning bolt, dropping a blue thunder column directly onto the golden charge. Their powers collide at point-blank range, leaving both rulers snarling through the blast instead of retreating. Watching from outside the crater, Xiao Qing admits this duel massively exceeds her current combat tier. She ignores the gap anyway, gathering teal energy because protecting her king beats self-preservation. Xiao Qing transforms into a pale dragon and dives, threatening anyone who strikes her ruler. Dragon Breath erupts as a concentrated purple beam, racing straight toward White Tiger's exposed flank. The lightning ruler catches the incoming glow behind him. Realizing the duel just gained adds, purple energy detonates across the ridge in rapid bursts, forcing his attention away from the lion. Before Xiao Qing can capitalize, emerald power begins gathering inside another nearby defender. A green eye flares with divine beast energy, revealing White Tiger brought his own transformation specialist. The turtle advisor expands into a hulking tortoise serpent guardian, completely reshaping the support matchup. Xiao Qing's dragon form recoils in surprise, her planned assist suddenly meeting an equal obstacle. A black feather drops overhead as another enemy asks whether she forgot White Tiger's remaining squad. The crane commander dives through crimson feathers, warning Xiao Qing that interference means certain death. A spiraling wall of red feather blades crashes into dragon form, burying her beneath another explosion. Seeing his loyal companion targeted, Lu Fan loses focus and roars her name across the battlefield. White Tiger exploits that distraction, asking whether his opponent truly has time to worry about others. A lightning tackle catches the golden lion sideways, restarting the duel on brutally unfavorable terms. Blue and gold impacts tear along the ridge, each ruler hammering the other through broken stone. White Tiger drives crackling projectiles into the ground ahead, controlling space while closing distance. The lion had matched him using only half strength, yet suddenly cannot secure any advantage. A system check reveals huge portions of strength, speed, and mana inexplicably locked away. White Tiger smells the fear and declares frightened prey can never defeat its recognized king. He confirms this stat-locking dominance is his personal awakening skill, not ordinary lightning. A colossal black tiger silhouette rises behind him, transforming instinctive fear into supernatural suppression. The golden ruler freezes as the ability's rules become clear, finally understanding the invisible debuff. Called Fei Ling, it embodies ancient domination, the mighty teaching vulnerable prey to submit. Once fear enters a victim's mind, superior strength, intelligence, or size cannot break the oppressor's control. Generations of predators and prey reinforce that pattern, until it became a fundamental natural law. White Tiger's awakening weaponizes this inherited instinct, forcing frightened enemies beneath their king. Even a stronger adversary remains suppressed, while one trace of fear toward him survives, declaring the king unbeatable. White Tiger lands another savage blow against the weakened lion. With his strength still locked, the victim confirms White Tiger's fear skill is causing everything. Unable to fight with locked stats, the golden lion retreats briefly to create breathing room. White Tiger mistakes the repositioning for escape, grinning as lightning gathers across his armored back. Two enormous spectral wings unfold from the tiger, carrying the grounded predator effortlessly into the air. Lion discovers his rival can fly, unlocking a deeply personal stack of envy and hatred. White Tiger circles overhead and dives, turning aerial mobility into another unfair boss mechanic. Strangely, the victim's stats remain locked while the displayed limits keep rising during battle. He senses his energy disappearing somewhere, somewhere, adding resource theft to the already cursed matchup. Xiaoqing spots the worsening situation and calls urgently toward her besieged ruler. She moves to intercept White Tiger, but the tortoise serpent guardian blocks her flight path. The guardian mocks her speed despite his massive shell, confidently accepting the dragon duel. Black water bloom erupts beneath him, spinning polluted green currents into an expanding prison. The freezing tide swallows Xiaoqing whole, dragging her pale dragon body into supernatural darkness. Inside, biting cold suppresses her strength, revealing this water carries a nasty debuff of its own. Refusing to be trapped, she dismisses the technique as weak and powers up for escape. The guardian grudgingly admits her flying dragon transformation surpasses his own monster form. Meanwhile, the Crimson Crane streaks past, declaring he will personally finish the airborne threat. Xiaoqing spins into rotation, coiling her huge body into a defensive aerial wheel. The crane's eyes flare purple, tracking her rotation with predatory precision instead of panicking. A concentrated pink beam catches the spinning dragon, blasting across her scales at high speed. She twists clear, but the crane boasts his diamond-hard beak remains the real finishing weapon. The crane boasts that rapid rotation makes his beak Baihu Ridge's strongest spear, backed by the mightiest shell. With black water steadily draining spiritual energy, the support duo declares Xiaoqing's defeat mathematically guaranteed. Cornered, the dragon activates Cloud Dragon Illusion, wrapping the battlefield inside luminous mist and coils. Dark clouds swallow every combatant while stray lightning flashes through the suddenly unreadable arena. The Tortoise Guardian loses sight of everything, realizing his opponent deployed a deliberately deceptive trick. His green eye turns purple as hallucinogenic energy quietly hijacks what the armored beast perceives. A pale dragon seemingly coils around his shell, provoking outrage at the attempted restraint. He cannot understand how she penetrated black water, while phantom fangs scrape across his defense. Confident his shell absorbs every attack, the Guardian dismisses her apparent breakthrough as useless. The illusion suddenly flips his enormous body, exposing the underside he assumed perfectly protected. Black coils tighten around the helpless tortoise, turning his legendary shield into an oversized prison. He sees a black snake instead of the azure dragon. Confirming his senses are completely compromised, Xiaoqing reveals hallucinogenic venom fills the mist, exploiting the Guardian's unwieldy transformed body. The Crimson Crane spots his struggling partner and dives through the haze to provide backup. Believing an enemy blocks him, the enraged spearbeak charges with enough force to kill. The tortoise screams for his brother to wake up, but hallucination has already selected its target. Crimson energy erupts as the crane completes his dive, striking the silhouette directly ahead. Reality returns too late. The supposedly invincible beak has brutally wounded his own tortoise ally. The horrified crane recognizes the illusion and calls for turtle brother. Finally seeing the friendly fire disaster, Xiaoqing calmly congratulates that powerful beak, serving maximum sarcasm after engineering the hit. Xiaoqing gathers a final purple sphere, deciding only maximum output can crack their combined defense. Black water contamination cripples the crane's power, leaving him exposed and furious inside the lingering mist. Dragon breath fires at full strength, engulfing the hallucinating support duo in a colossal violet beam. The blast scrapes the ridge clean, leaving purple sparks and smoke where both defenders stood, barely upright. Xiaoqing turns toward her ruler and announces she finally cleared his flank. Her confident report breaks into concern when the distant gold and blue duel keeps detonating. The exhausted dragon drops back into green snake form, collapsing while smoke rolls across the battlefield. Meanwhile, Golden Lion Shield absorbs White Tiger's relentless claw barrage without yielding a centimeter. Although base attributes remain locked, active skills still function normally, giving Lu Fan one crucial workaround. White Tiger pounds the barrier in disbelief, unable to understand why this shield feels absurdly solid. Every previous monster submitted to his awakening, yet this stubborn lion refuses to show fear. He asks how White Tiger locked his power, joking that the enemy might own a system. The confused tiger hears mockery instead of gamer terminology, and his anger instantly hits maximum, refusing humiliation. White Tiger promises to break the golden shield with his next attack. Blue lightning floods his body as the furious ruler begins charging a genuine finishing move. Thunderclouds consume the sky above White Tiger Ridge, turning daylight into an electric nightmare. Watching calmly beneath the storm, the lion asks whether this theatrical setup is his opponent's plan. White Tiger declares the coming strike unavoidable and unblockable, confidently calling checkmate already. A gigantic blue vortex reflects inside the defender's eye, revealing how much power gathered overhead. Ultimate Thunder technique unleashes Great Thunderstorm, dropping a world-splitting lightning pillar onto the shield. Great Thunderstorm swallows the battlefield, detonating with enough force to erase every nearby landmark. Inside the devastation, the Golden Lion strains against currents powerful enough to shred the entire ridge. White Tiger roars for his enemy to die, pouring everything into the descending lightning. Electricity blackens the target's silhouette completely, leaving only one stubborn golden glow inside the chaos. When the storm fades, White Tiger Ridge has become an enormous crater threaded with residual lightning. At the crater's bottom, a blazing golden sphere remains intact, pulsing like a miniature sun. White Tiger assumes the heat melted his opponent into that golden ball. Celebrating far too early, the supposed wreck suddenly launches skyward, transforming that victory lap into immediate confusion. Its glowing sphere curves around the hovering tiger, moving with deliberate control instead of falling. That impossible maneuver blindsides White Tiger, who finally realizes his target survived the finisher. A long golden horn punches through the sphere as purple lightning crawls across the new form. The lion emerges completely transformed, armored in metallic gold and wielding a blazing energy sphere. He calls the result amazing, grinning while stolen electricity harmlessly dances across his armor. Attack heat plus vapor from Xiaoqing and Lao Shu's battle created perfect thunderstorm conditions. His conductive metallic body converted the lightning, baffling White Tiger with absolutely zero visible damage. The blazing golden sphere is his devil pill. Revealed with appropriately smug boss energy, White Tiger freezes. Realizing this bizarre upgrade has flipped their entire matchup against him. System confirms devil pill, thunderstorm attribute, thunder flash level 1, and expanded golden mastery. Fresh black thunderclouds gather above the upgraded lion, signaling another celestial scale disaster overhead. He plans earth shifting as a grounded barrier, channeling the coming heavenly lightning safely downward. Heavenly current snakes across the ruined ground, and he braces as the next tribulation finally arrives. The system detects massive electrical energy and offers to infuse it directly into his monster core. That explains his abdominal warmth. Newly acquired stats kept nourishing a core, despite White Tiger's lock. Realizing tribulation is mandatory, the power gamer chooses maximum risk and takes lightning head-on. Celestial thunder manifests his monster core directly. Earning White Tiger sincere thanks for the accidental assistance, White Tiger watches this impossible breakthrough and completely loses his royal composure entirely. He charges again, promising murder, while his upgraded opponent dismisses the attack as useless. The Golden Ruler pauses mid-boast, sensing his new form still carries one extremely annoying limitation. White Tiger rockets forward with a lightning-coated claw, eager to exploit that sudden hesitation. The claw lands squarely, jolting the Golden Fighter before he can finish his sentence. He counters immediately, blasting White Tiger backward through the air with raw momentum. Landing amid shattered stone, the Golden Ruler demands an explanation for this ongoing nonsense. Even after condensing his golden core, every base statistic remains chained by the fear lock. Nearby monsters identify White Tiger's power as a rule. Fearful moment makes victory permanently impossible. He compares it with MANHWA's enslavement magic, which turns affected males into obedient servants. White Tiger mocks the newly formed core, insisting those invisible shackles still guarantee his victory. Gathering blue electricity inside his jaws, the airborne tyrant charges another point-blank finisher. Flying thunder cannon erupts downward, becoming a colossal electric beast diving toward its target. The Golden Fighter answers by expanding molten energy, surrounding himself with blazing metallic walls. Metal expansion activates Paradise Cage, catching the roaring thunder cannon inside a golden inferno. Blue lightning floods Paradise Cage, but molten restraints keep rising through the blast. White Tiger stares in horror, unable to understand how his strongest element became useless. Lu explains thunder cannot harm him, while intimidation cannot suppress his non-biological monster core. Powered independently by that core, gigantic golden tendrils erupt and encircle the airborne tyrant. White Tiger suddenly dodges between tightening loops, admitting this prison is seriously troublesome. The ruler commands him to behave, pouring core energy into metal expansion once more. Flaming golden coils multiply across the battlefield, closing every escape route around him completely. Paradise Cage wraps every limb, suspending the shocked tiger inside a blazing knot. Unable to overpower it, White Tiger finally fears he may lose this battle of kings. During his panic, he spots the Rat King sitting far below on the ruined ridge. The chubby-crowned rat wakes, dazed among smoke clouds, looking spectacularly unprepared for command. Still bound overhead, White Tiger desperately calls toward the bewildered rodent for immediate backup. Hearing that title, the Golden Ruler realizes the true swarm leader has casually entered frame. Worse, the underground rat tide has awakened inside Lion Mountain's earth veins after the long delay. With home taking damage, he decides White Tiger must be eliminated without another wasted second. The trapped tiger exposes their connection. Damage to Lion Mountain directly harms its Golden Ruler. He orders the Rat King to bite through the mountain, confusing the selected rodent completely. Lufan asks whether he is truly the Rat King, making the little guy stammer. Instead, the rodent suddenly recognizes the Golden Ruler as king, flipping everyone's assumptions. His golden eye widens at the bizarre response. Sensing this rat's identity contains another twist. A flashback reveals Xiaoqing chases the desperate little rat toward Lion Mountain's hidden chamber. Inside, Lufan's small true body sleeps peacefully on a stone platform, completely unaware. The fugitive slips through a cracked wall, nearly reaching the resting lion before its pursuer. Xiaoqing storms inside and coils around her king, shouting that a rat infiltrated the chamber. Awakened and annoyed, the chibi ruler grabs imaginary tools and offers to inspect the intruder. He catches the trembling rodent by its tail, demanding why it dared climb onto his body. Once her king secures the prey, Xiaoqing happily declares the mouse belongs to him. Her immediate suggestion is brutally simple: eat it. Ending this tiny infiltration side quest. Dangling between golden claws, the terrified mouse prepares for the world's most humiliating game over. It suddenly begs the Lion King for mercy, proving this snack can speak fluent desperation. The talking mouse startles him so badly that both predator and dinner collapse into slapstick chaos. Because it gains sentience, he refuses to eat it. While Xiaoqing questions whether that changes flavor, he explains spiritual energy mutated the mouse like them, establishing that sentient beasts stay off menu. The spared creature bows repeatedly, promising to repay the king someday with everything it has. He dismisses that promise and sends the tiny newcomer away to play safely by itself. Back in the present, the crowned rodent apologizes to the Golden Ruler across the ruined ridge, ridge, he realizes White Tiger's pressure controlled his old acquaintance, explaining the apparent betrayal. Now freed, the Rat King declares repayment time and demands everyone watch his comeback play. Green energy surrounds both paws as spectral connections awaken across the underground swarm network. Calling for his children, he commands every invading rat to return immediately to their true king. Deep inside the earth veins, countless rats hear their sovereign's command and abruptly stop chewing. White Tiger snarls that recalling the swarm would end his attack, challenging Rat King to defy him. Attempting resistance makes blood pour from the rodent's eyes and mouth, yet he keeps channeling. White Tiger laughs, claiming demonic intimidation already owns the mouse and rebellion means death. Lu Fan steps between them, telling his little ally that no sacrifice is necessary. He declares a true king embraces everyone, earns devotion and remains unbreakable beneath heaven. Leadership through threats and discarded servants is worthless, directly roasting White Tiger's entire monarchy. Demonic intimidation. Purge erupts as a golden shockwave, challenging the tyrant's control head-on. White Tiger answers with overwhelming pressure, doubling down on fear as his only win condition. Golden and blue domination fields collide, splitting the ruined ridge between opposing royal wills. Their pressure waves slam together repeatedly, grinding stone and forcing both rulers backward. White Tiger and the lion grit teeth through recoil, neither aura yielding decisive ground, bleeding heavily. Rat King refuses unconsciousness because his children remain trapped, declaring himself king too. His stubborn royal will detonates in brilliant blue-white burst, overpowering White Tiger's command. When the pressure clears, the battlefield falls eerily silent beneath drifting smoke and debris. White Tiger lies face down and motionless, his intimidation finally crushed by kingship instead of fear. System annexes eastern White Tiger Ridge, completes expand territory, grants 2 Yang fragments, and unlocks revival-resistant land. The victorious lion notices green energy still spiraling around Rat King, whose rescue operation continues. Rat Tide's summon activates at full power, broadcasting the recall order through every tunnel. A bird alerts Big Bear as countless rats erupt from Lion Mountain's earth veins all at once. Rat King laughs with exhausted relief, while the Golden Ruler finally releases his battle-ready stance. Closing his eyes, the exhausted winner takes one precious breath after surviving that ridiculous raid. Before relaxation lasts even a second, a shadowed challenger orders him to remain exactly there. White Tiger drags herself forward through smoke, looking battered but very much alive. The powerless lion wonders why she still refuses to die. Having no strength for overtime, instead of attacking, White Tiger admits total defeat with surprising calm and dignity. By Ridge law, the winner becomes king, so she declares herself his follower and queen. Both Lion King and Rat King scream in synchronized disbelief, absolutely unprepared for this ending. He finally realizes his opponent is female, while she offers Tigress and requests his name. Imagining an unwanted lion-tiger romance route, he immediately raises one paw and refuses the quest. System detects Tigress gifting the entire ridge and requests permission to absorb it into Lion Mountain. Meanwhile, helicopters and armored vehicles assemble outside the newly emerged entrance to Red Umbrella Ruins. Su Ling joins as Strong Organization's exploration recorder. While Shen Shuang serves on the field team, the expedition faces a colossal vine-covered ruin, its ancient columns vanishing into darkness overhead. Armed explorers descend between crumbling pillars, entering the cavernous structure in a tight formation. Shen Shuang keeps her pistol ready beside Su Ling, who carries a blade and recorder. A huge teammate casually grabs the gun, mocking modern firearms as outdated toys for little girls. Zhu Tao, a Tier 2 martial artist and B-rank awakener, warns that misfires could damage treasure. He flexes shamelessly, declaring spiritual energy the only real king in this revival era. Then he crowds both women, promising protection while receiving maximum awkward silence and nervous laughter. As Zhu Dao reaches towards Su Ling, she privately promises to remove any hand touching her. Before she acts, a gloved teammate smacks Zhu Dao for flirting during an active ruin crawl. Leader Wang Chong reveals construction group explorers entered earlier and were completely wiped out before full emergence. Chasen Zhu Dao asks why the company still wants everyone risking death inside this place. Wang answers with the real prize, a newly awakened inheritance hidden somewhere within the ruins. Su Ling quietly memorizes that revelation, recognizing exactly the kind of intelligence her mission needs. Radar promises enormous space ahead, yet an ornate circuseal blocks the expedition's apparent dead end. The patterned barrier begins rumbling ominously, making nearby explorers scatter before understanding the trap. It suddenly rolls outward like a colossal stone wheel, threatening to flatten the entire squad. The unstoppable seal barrels down the corridor, turning ancient architecture into a deadly boss mechanic. Zhu Dao rushes forward to intercept it, while Wang Chong watches with suspicious confidence. Green spiritual energy coats both hands as the B-rank fighter catches the rolling mass head-on. His team leader calmly smokes through the chaos, amused by this junior's reckless flex. Zhu Dao challenges the giant seal to compare strength, pouring more energy through his arms. Qi gathering spikes his power dramatically, and a feral transformation begins beneath the human disguise. His face erupts into a massive boar form, complete with tusks and maximum raid tank energy. Fully transformed, the boar awakener drives both glowing fists against the still advancing seal. Watching safely behind him, both women realize their obnoxious teammate is literally a pig. The beast roars and pushes harder, veins blazing while the ancient mechanism refuses mercy. With green energy surging, he plants his feet and contests the enormous wheel's crushing momentum. With one final surge, transformed Zhu Dao hurls the massive seal away and clears their their path. The obstacle cracks apart, revealing a gigantic armored pillbug leaking green fluid across stone. Still in boar form, Zhu identifies the creature and laughs at this supposedly weak enemy type. Then red-eyed bats pour from darkness overhead, immediately turning the victory screen into another ambush. Several beasts latch onto his shoulders and backpack, catching the overconfident tank completely unaware. Shen Shuang opens fire with chi bullets, proving her supposedly outdated pistol carries supernatural ammunition. Brilliant rounds tear through the attacking bats, blasting them away before their fangs sink deeper. Zhu realizes she saved him with spiritual bullets, instantly rewriting his opinion of both weapon and shooter. Naturally, his wounded brain interprets rescue as romance, complete with hard eyes and catastrophic thirst. Wang Chong orders the lava-struck boar upright, announcing that their expedition has finally arrived. The explorers stare ahead in sweating silence, stunned by whatever waits beyond the broken seal. A glowing ancient pleasure palace appears inside the cavern, welcoming exhausted explorers with suspiciously cheerful laughter. A richly dressed hostess leans from the red balcony, delighted that fresh customers finally arrived. More courtesans wave their fans and announce open business, making the entire squad question reality. Zhu Dao stares with undisguised wonder, his raid priorities instantly abandoning treasure and survival. Su Ling studies the impossible establishment, recognizing this cheerful reception as deeply suspicious. The transformed boar charges toward the women with heart-shaped eyes, ignoring every obvious trap flag. Wang Chong senses something wrong and moves after him before lust causes a total party wipe. Zhu insists the beauties are their clear stage reward because apparently no man should ever retreat. A courtesan embraces the massive boar and praises his sturdiness, sealing the bait with expert charm. Wang Chong cannot explain how courtesans cross the distance instantly, since he never looked away. The palace still stands far ahead, confirming the welcoming women teleported without any visible movement. Across the corridor, every male explorer is suddenly paired with an affectionate hostess, triggering immediate alarm. Seductive attackers press against blushing soldiers, disguising their supernatural ambush as playful hospitality. Wang's narrowed eyes catch the inconsistency, and the team leader finally identifies an active illusion trap. Meanwhile, love-struck Zhu Tao happily cuddles his hostess, offering the monster unrestricted access. Her smile exposes sharp hidden fangs, revealing something much hungrier beneath the courtesan disguise. Green essence pours from the boar awakener into her mouth, draining him while he laughs helplessly. Too late, Zhu realizes the woman is devouring his yang energy instead of flirting. Growing weaker by the second, he spots Wang Chong and begs the captain for rescue. Blue-green flames engulf his body as the desperate boar screams for someone to save him. Nearby explorers collapse under identical drains, their glowing eyes showing how thoroughly charm hijacked them. One surviving fighter launches a purple energy punch at the courtesans, trying to break their feeding circle. The women effortlessly seize him too, converting that heroic charge into another buffet delivery. Wang Chong finally charges through the chaos, ordering every disguised predator to stop immediately. Raging Ironhead activates, coating his body in crackling blue power as he storms for a purple-robed beauty intercepts him with an intimate embrace. Testing whether charm can bypass his defenses, Wang answers by hurling her aside, rejecting the seduction with one electrically reinforced swing. Standing firm beneath blue arcs, he declares their crooked tricks completely useless against him. The fallen courtesan smiles instead of panicking, delighted that this customer is unusually hard. The courtesan reveals that making powerful men soft is her specialty, pressing glowing charm against Wang's chest. For the first time, Wang Chong sweats and asks exactly what this demon plans to do. She answers by slowly licking her lips, weaponizing silence more effectively than any exposition. His blood rushes toward the lower dantian, denying the iron needed to maintain bodily metallization. A scream echoes beneath the glowing palace, confirming seduction trap has breached his defense. Seeing the team collapse, Su Ling decides she must reach nearby Lion Mountain and report everything. Life character formula activates Yin soul transformation, turning her consciousness into cold blue spiritual fire, spectral hands separate from flesh, letting the infiltrator attempt a soul state escape from the cavern. The purple courtesan catches that ghostly arm and yanks her back, casually ordering her to stay. Su Ling freezes because an enemy just physically grabbed her supposedly intangible spiritual yin soul. That impossible contact makes her suspect. The courtesan shares some related soul nature or cultivation. The predator calls everyone sisters and declares that anyone entering this palace never leaves. Meanwhile at Lion Mountain, the story cuts back to a very different kind of danger. The exhausted golden lion sits awkwardly, already regretting whatever conversation begins after his victory. Tigress presents mating season as an urgent deadline, warning another chance will take an entire year. She demands immediate consummation, while her newly crowned partner sweats through an entirely different boss fight. According to Tigress, their union would produce the strongest king and let their family rule everything. She accuses him of taking White Tiger Ridge while rejecting the ruler who surrendered it. Cornered, he admits simple inexperience, desperately trying to explain this is not personal rejection. Tigress calls him a novice and launches into aggressively practical feline mating instructions. Cornered by relentless encouragement, the lion wonders whether history is about to record an extremely unusual first. A sentient golden heart flame crashes into the chamber, yelling that its king faces an emergency. Tigress nearly blue screens because the candle talks. While the king urgently asks Xiao Zhu what happened, Xiao Zhu appears holding Xiao Ling's tiny blue heart flame, reporting that its condition is collapsing. The flickering soul fire is moments from extinguishing, turning a ridiculous romance interruption into real danger. Realizing Xiaoling may die, the lion snaps fully alert and abandons every mating season distraction. Sacred Fire Manifestation Technique activates, commanding the linked flame to reveal Xiaoling's exact location. Tigress demands identities. While Xiao Zhu needles her king for leaving this suspiciously unexplained, ignoring the interrogation, he focuses completely on the trembling flame's directional pull alone. The signal drifts toward Red Umbrella Ruins, forcing another immediate trip down Lion Mountain. System consumes one Yang body fragment, finally spending a piece of that precious transformation currency. Golden light rebuilds him into a muscular humanoid lion, armored and crackling with purple lightning. Tigress stares at her transformed darling, watching the feline romance root mutate before her eyes. She recognizes human transformation technique, a path opposite White Tiger Ridge's pursuit of divine beast evolution. He orders Tigress to wait and take Xiaozu, promising he will return after the rescue. Watching them leave, Tigress decides ordinary courtship failed and plans a full infatuation campaign. Then loyalty wins over jealousy, and she resolves to help save the endangered woman too. Inside the ruins, the purple courtesan flies away while dragging Xiaoling's captured yin soul. Shen Shuangshuang spots her senior overhead and immediately shouts, refusing to let the demon escape. Her hand sees a weapon's handle, launching the rescue attempt before the soul vanishes deeper. Shen Shuangshuang grabs her senior's hand and gets dragged skyward, refusing to abandon the rescue. Below them, the drained men remain crumpled beside the glowing pleasure palace like discarded loot. Shen lands inside and immediately follows, choosing the demon's home turf over helpless spectating. The palace courtesans welcome both intruders as honored ladies, surrounding them with weaponized hospitality. They pinch Su Ling's cheeks and tease her youth, apparently forgetting their captive has teeth. The senior suddenly senses someone familiar above, and her playful captors completely miss the switch. On an upper balcony waits the black-robed courtesan, calmly watching her old enemy arrive. Recognition lands on the demon's face, turning that lazy stare into sharp suspicion. Her composure instantly cracks because the woman she remembers should never have reached this place. Su Ling confirms the feeling is mutual, glaring upward like this rematch was personally scheduled. Without hesitating, she activates killing character formula, flooding her eyes with brutal crimson intent. She wraps around Shen's blade, transforming an ordinary weapon into a glowing execution tool. The courtesan answers with illusory transformation, red-black energy boiling around her entire body. Now fully enraged, Su Ling launches forward through spiraling violet power without defensive caution. Both women rocket across the palace and collide, starting a rematch at absurd speed. Their faces stop inches apart, and the courtesan spits disbelief that her target still lives. She calls Su Ling insanely persistent, almost amused that revenge followed her into this den. Su demands Lion Mountain's blood debt, while the demon claims intruders deserve vengeance instead. Their exchanges become unreadable streaks, leaving Shen unable to follow even one complete attack. Shen finally realizes her senior is an awakener, and apparently an outrageously powerful one. Terrified attendants beg the duelists to stop, warning their chaos could awaken the palace master. A single command booms from above, freezing the entire pleasure palace beneath absolute authority. Both fighters halt mid-rage, suddenly united by the deeply concerning voice controlling this dungeon. Bilu appears, introduced as the ancient ruins Qingyi Pavilion Master and final boss Energy Incarnate. The black-robed courtesan drops her aggression and respectfully addresses the newcomer as Big Sister. Every courtesan bows in formation, confirming Bilua commands this entire honey trap faction. Su Ling watches silently, measuring the smiling master before making another dangerously expensive move. Bilua releases monstrous demonic pressure, and the entire hall darkens beneath suffocating red energy. Even killing character formula buckles, warning Su Ling that this opponent exists on another tier. Her estimate gets worse, because Biluo may have cultivated for several thousand years. A direct fight now looks like instant dismemberment, so survival requires diplomacy over stubborn revenge. Su lowers her weapon, respectfully apologizes for trespassing, and requests permission to leave peacefully. Shen joins the performance, insisting they were merely sightseeing and absolutely not speedrunning disaster. Bilua laughs at their suddenly eloquent excuse, apparently entertained by the emergency charisma check. She agrees to release the intruders, then adds one condition with suspiciously perfect timing. The pavilion master asks whether Su Ling can also release her from this prison. That request resets Su's combat brain, because she never captured this ancient monster. Bilu explains her soul is bound here, and Su's inherited legacy might provide freedom. Su glances toward the black-robed enemy, trying to determine exactly which woman the master means. She cautiously warns Big Sister that the supposed helper may be receiving wildly inflated credit. The temporary truce lasts seconds, because Su and the black-robed demon immediately resume their insult tournament. Biluo orders all three women to follow, leaving the rivals grinding foreheads behind her. Walking deeper, she recalls being a wealthy family's daughter, implicated in rebellion and sold into Qingyi Pavilion. Her first customer night filled the pavilion with lights, celebrations, and a madam counting future profits. Bilua only wanted to preserve her purity, secretly preparing a knife and choosing death instead. Before she could strike, a nervous young scholar unexpectedly stumbled through her bedroom door. One look completely derailed the suicide plan, and she fell deeply in love with him. He also came from prominence, but treacherous classmates delivered him for a supposed luck-enhancing virginity ritual. Instead of touching her, the scholar kept respectful distance, instantly proving better than his companions. They traded poems, discussed past and present, then played music together through the entire night. His knowledge, sciences, and 6 gentlemanly arts made him dangerously perfect romance protagonist material. B. Luo's guarded heart surrendered quietly, turning one respectful conversation into genuine devotion. The scholar promised redemption, a grand marriage procession, and a peaceful life together afterward. Their imagined future becomes pure happiness, sealed by an embrace that finally makes hope believable. Short on money and examination time, he borrowed funds and paid the madam to reserve her. After several days, he gifted his family's universe brocade umbrella as a token before leaving. The madam broke her promise, arguing B. Luo had already lost purity and should keep serving. Resistance turned violent, leaving one customer sprawled across the floor among shattered dishes. Bruised and holding a bloody blade, she recognized the tragedy closing around her. With execution seemingly inevitable, B. Luo raised the knife toward her own throat again. Her blood splashed the spiritual umbrella, and concentrated resentment corrupted the family heirloom into an evil spirit. That crimson umbrella spirit became Chi Luo, finally revealing the weapon's horrifying origin story. Su understands the haunting, but asks what happened next and how B. Luo became a yin soul. Chi Luo answers for her, revealing the scholar eventually returned and kept his promise. He topped both civil and martial examinations, defended the Southwest, and became a celebrated general. Learning B. Luo died for love shattered him, replacing triumph with a very personal crusade. The grieving general returned to Qingyi Pavilion and slaughtered everyone responsible without mercy. Then he burned the entire pavilion, closing its business permanently with maximum dramatic overkill. Guided by a high monk, he sealed the ruins in bronze as one enormous natural coffin. A wordless celestial book became the formation I, protecting B. Luo's preserved body. The formation prevented decay perfectly, but also imprisoned her soul inside the supernatural vault. Her scholar spent the rest of his life obsessively hunting for any resurrection method. He found nothing before death, leaving devotion, regret, and one undefeated impossible quest. When spiritual energy revived, B. Luo abandoned her body and awakened as an earthbound yin spirit. Su then remembers the attendants outside and asks whether those cheerful sisters share this fate. They were sacrifices offered by the scholar, souls now trapped as extensions gathering yang energy. Su appreciates the shocking honesty, while visibly reconsidering every sympathetic assumption she just made. She explains earthbound spirits grow from resentment or unfinished wishes, then offers to fulfill B. Luo's wish. Her direct question cuts deeper than combat, asking whether B. Luo wants to see him again. The pavilion master refuses immediately, her flat answer carrying several thousand years of pain. Thousands of years erased B. Luo's interest in men, romance, and reopening that ancient emotional save file. Her actual wish is simple: remove the wordless celestial book and break the binding formation. Freedom earns the book for Lion Mountain's king. Plus, B. Luo jokingly offers herself as his wife. Su freezes because this ancient ghost somehow already knows exactly which king she serves. B. Luo explains Chi Luo was born from her own anger and bitter resentment. Every experience and bloodstain Chi Luo carries remains connected to the pavilion master herself. From one angle, the umbrella spirit is simply another version of B. Luo walking independently. Su counters that Chi Luo attacked Lion Mountain. Making this favor request outrageously shameless, B. Luo refuses judgment, arguing Chi Luo merely defended her cave from invading mountain forces. The reminder that these ghosts lived here first leaves Su Ling briefly out-argued. With enemies multiplying everywhere, B. Luo suggests turning swords into jade and ending the feud. Su accepts the peace attempt and approaches the blue coffin, ready to remove its formation core. Something unexpected near the preserved body makes both Su and Shen stop dead. B. Luo's corpse remains stunningly lifelike, appearing warm enough to breathe despite millennia underground. Behind them, both spirits tease Su for acting coy, while she denies enjoying anything. She ignores the trolling, extends her spectral hand, and tries simply grabbing the celestial book. Her fingers pass through empty air, with the glowing projection vanishing at first contact. Su stares at the missing book, realizing this supposedly simple quest contains another trap. The book immediately reappears inside the coffin, behaving like a mirage rather than matter. B. Luo watches without explanation. While both explorers silently troubleshoot the impossible pickup mechanic, B. Luo fastpalms and explains the book must be reached through Su Ling's inherited soul technique, existing between life and death. It requires her heritage's radiant soul transformation to become tangible. One tiny problem remains. Su can transform herself, but has never transformed another object. Before anyone solves that puzzle, cracks spread across the chamber as ancient defenses awaken. Chi Luo reminds everyone that disturbing the formation automatically activates every relic's defense mechanism. Su and Shen panic because nobody mentioned extra traps before they touched the boss objective. B. Luo casually admits ignorance, since nobody reached her body throughout several thousand quiet years. Her sisters drained every outsider long before approach, making this the formation's first live test. A trembling clawed hand rises behind them, signaling that the preserved defenders are entering berserk mode. The courtesan's eyes ignite red, their playful hospitality overwritten by vicious formation programming. Chi Luo finally identifies the mechanism, exactly as one possessed attendant unleashes a monstrous roar. Every maid stampedes toward the coffin, turning the chamber into a sudden supernatural mob fight. Su reaches for Shen and orders her back, refusing to let the rookie become spirit food. Chi Luo swings her umbrella through the charging crowd, scattering multiple attackers away from both explorers. Shen plants her feet and fires twin chi shots. shots, contributing ranged support through the chaos. One maid absorbs the blue blast into her mouth, proving normal damage cannot solve this encounter. Another possessed courtesan lunges from behind Shen, fangs out and targeting the distracted gunner. Her bite nearly connects, turning one missed flank check into an immediate fatal threat. Qilua intercepts with an umbrella smash, blasting the attacker away and saving Shen again. She demands Bilua control her own maids because friendly reinforcements should not eat the guests. Bilua admits the formation eye suppresses them completely, leaving no direct control over the Berserk sisters. Another maid snarls forward, confirming diplomacy remains disabled until someone breaks the celestial barrier. Qilua blames Su's disaster magnetism, then boasts her umbrella can gather every attacker instantly. Bilua assigns the umbrella spirit to crowd control and tells Su to attempt retrieval again. Su accepts, resetting her focus while the possessed mob keeps clawing closer nearby. Qilua holds the doorway, buying her stubborn rival one clean attempt at the coffin. Back at the platform, the wordless book hovers upright, challenging Su to distinguish reality from projection. She studies its unstable presence, searching beyond ordinary sight for the formation's genuine core. Her heritage blurs reality and fantasy, exposing a radiant spirit layer overlapping B. Luo's preserved body. Golden sight locks onto the hidden target, and Su finally recognizes the authentic celestial book. The true formation eye lies within B. Luo's body. Centered beneath the glowing abdomen, Su announces the awful answer. The book is literally inside the pavilion master's belly. Qilua recoils in disbelief, because extraction now threatens the body she exists to protect. Bilua begs the spirit girl to remove it anyway, choosing freedom over perfect preservation. Qilua refuses, terrified any damage will destroy her sister's remaining chance at rebirth. Bilua calls the past unrecoverable and says she now wants escape from endless suffering. Then she challenges Su to prove her inheritance. Embracing whatever consequence finally follows, Su accepts the responsibility, turning back toward the coffin with newly hardened resolve. Golden light floods her spectral body, activating the Heritage's radiant form at full power. She begins by making dream into reality, pushing transformed hands through Bilua's body. Within the corpse, Su converts the intangible core into matter and finally grips the book. Sweat gathers as she maintains both transformations, balancing reality, fantasy, and one forbidden extraction. A final wrist flick materializes her hand completely, pulling the celestial book from empty space. Su celebrates with the glowing blue prize secured, successfully clearing the impossible retrieval mechanic. Immediately, purple crystal fractures race across Bilua's preserved body as the coffin destabilizes. The ancient shell explodes into drifting shards, and Su realizes victory deleted the entire preservation system. Bilua expected this collapse and calmly orders everyone to flee before the ruins finish breaking. Qilua warns escape remains messy because destroying the formation eye made its defenders even stronger. The Berserk maids accelerate with greater ferocity, converting a successful quest into nightmare evacuation mode. One claws through Qiluo's guard, forcing the umbrella spirit into a desperate close-range block. Her counterattack erupts in a bright streak, barely knocking the empowered attacker off course. Shen aims ahead while Su's Yin Soul guards her back, creating a mobile two-layer defense. With the seal finally broken, Su argues this is their only chance to escape together. Bilua leads the sprint, and the whole improvised party charges through collapsing pavilion corridors. Behind them, the possessed attendants mutate into a roaring spectral swarm and continue pursuit. Daylight appears at the tunnel's end, turning the approaching exit into everyone's favorite objective marker. Bilua runs silently, processing that thousands of imprisoned years are ending with this sprint. Four silhouettes burst from the vine-covered ruin entrance, finally reaching the outside world. Under open sky, Bilua smiles because the ancient ruin can no longer contain her. She carries exhausted Shen, while Su urges the newly freed pavilion master to keep running. Bilua calls Su a beautiful spirit and finally asks who this suspicious rescuer actually is. Su identifies Lion Mountain behind them, warning that released demons would bring unimaginable consequences. Killing character formula ignites again, and she decides to erase the swarm before it spreads. Bilua watches the lone spirit prepare battle, silently weighing whether freedom justifies abandoning her. Responsibility wins, so Bilua stays. While Qilua refuses to leave her sister behind, Shen requests evacuation before the three supernatural women start fighting like full-scale goddesses. The empowered spirit swarm pours from the tunnel, filling the entrance with a purple nightmare wall. A colossal shadow suddenly falls across Su, announcing backup far larger than anyone expected. One bestial roar erupts behind her, carrying golden force and crackling thunder into the swarm. Lufan arrives in humanoid form, unleashing Thunder Golden Lion's roar like an area-clearing ultimate. Every pursuing maid takes the shockwave head-on, red eyes widening as lightning floods their ranks. The entire horde is blasted backward through violet electricity, helpless against this absurd rescue entrance. Smoke clears around the muscular lion warrior, whose transformed body still radiates storm power. The cave entrance empties completely, replacing the advancing mob with dust and stunned silence. He asks whether his little one is safe, and Su tearfully greets her king. Bilua immediately measures him as 10 times stronger than during Qiluo's earlier battle. Even her 1,000 years of cultivation would struggle against that hit. Turning confidence into caution, Qilua protests that spirits should ignore physical attacks, while the lion bluntly asks their plan. He grabs the umbrella spirit by her face, instantly ending any attempt at evasive diplomacy. Recognizing Qilua, he reminds her that mercy was already granted and threatens consequences for ingratitude. Yanbilua bows formally, introducing herself as a humble servant paying respects to the great king. Still palming Qilua's face, he pauses over Su's affectionate title and the unexpected newcomer. He asks what happened to Xiaoling and demands the elegant stranger's complete identity. The explanation clicks. This woman is the actual owner behind the newly emerged Red Umbrella ruins. Bilua confirms every ancient ruin has an owner and secretly preserves a unique inheritance. Terrifying forest holds its coffin. Red Umbrella keeps the wordless scriptures, each transmitting ancient power. She identifies Lion Mountain as another ruin fed by earth energy, then asks which lineage he inherited. The question crashes his confidence, because the system hardly explains who originally owned this dungeon. He glances toward Xiaozhu for inherited knowledge, but her blank expression delivers absolutely nothing. Bilua moves on, warning revived ancient forces will inevitably clash for dominance during this chaos. Across distant forests, long-necked primordial beasts already rise, making that prediction feel extremely immediate. Su reports Changsheng Corporation is not alone. Ancient powers have infiltrated multiple human organizations. Strong organization grants exceptional awakeners the legendary Wu Jikido inheritance, titles, ranks, and enhanced bodies. Maintaining cover prevented Su from contacting Wu Jikido's notorious inner gang. Leaving that faction unexamined, her king praises the infiltration and pats her head, instantly cashing out the mission's emotional reward. Strong organization caused fresh casualties and will not surrender quietly. With Lion Mountain now tangled inside, Bilua says their earth veins intertwine, warning that possessing treasure attracts blame even without wrongdoing. Qilua proposes the subtle strategy of slaughtering humanity because diplomacy apparently remains optional. The lion counters with bullets, aircraft, tanks, and nuclear bombs, immediately deleting her confidence. Yanbilua offers a smarter answer. She can conceal Lion Mountain's vulnerable earth energy veins. The lion's eyes widen at the offer because hiding an entire spiritual artery sounds wildly convenient. Bilua explains her barrier talent can wrap the land's veins and conceal every trace of flowing energy. He answers with a long silence, visibly calculating whether this ridiculously generous specialist can be trusted. Reading that hesitation, Bilua asks the white-haired girl to hand over the celestial book. She also seizes the crimson umbrella despite Qilua's horrified protest, stacking every bargaining chip. Then the ancient ghost drops to her knees, making her sales pitch painfully official. Bilua requests service beneath the king beside his ethereal maiden, formally presenting herself for acceptance. The system detects a millennium ghost, Qiankun brocade umbrella, and wordless book offered as one absurd bundle. Qilua realizes her sister just traded her away. While the lion struggles to reject this loot, he recognizes master-level strategy. Bilua converted every useless possession into tribute for a powerful faction. Opening the prize reveals completely blank pages, making its legendary reputation look suspiciously scammed here. The system awards 2 understanding points merely for reading it, then refuses to explain the joke. He suspects higher intelligence changed his perception, cautiously studying the empty-looking pages again. Faint golden characters slowly sharpened before his eyes, proving the supposed blankness was actually a filter. The hidden scripture finally becomes readable, and whatever he sees immediately wipes away every complaint. Morning breaks over the forest as the ruined party starts returning toward Lion Mountain. From a rocky overlook, a silent watcher tracks the king, Su, Bilua, and their companions. The watcher is Tigress, whose narrowed eyes suggest the new female recruit has already triggered suspicion. She slips back from the cliff without confronting anyone, leaving that jealousy encounter queued for later. At Lion's Den, someone calls for White Tiger while a blonde humanoid figure enters the chamber. Inside the empty den, the transformed lion searches for Tigress and wonders whether she already left. A suspicious scent makes him pinch his nose, and the missing queen mystery becomes increasingly embarrassing. He crouches beside a yellow puddle hidden near the wall, reading the retreat clue nobody wanted. Fresh claw marks cover the stone nearby, confirming Tigress departed after leaving one dramatic farewell. His roar begs White Tiger to return, shaking the entire mountain with abandoned husband energy. The returning party enters behind him, and Biluo innocently asks whether this cave is his lair. Panicking over the private mess, he physically ushers everyone outside and demands a less humiliating venue. Their baffled cry echoes across the forest, because the emergency relocation makes absolutely no sense. Outside, he introduces the newcomers as trusted allies and orders every follower to cooperate from now on. Big Bear immediately objects, warning that these glamorous ghosts look like pure trouble for the mountain. Qilua glares beneath the umbrella while the beast crowd loudly insists nobody should trust her. The king explains hostile factions covet Lion Mountain, and these barrier experts can hide its underground veins. Biluo downplays the technique, then reveals another ancient relic still waiting for its secrets to unfold. That surprise hook grabs his full attention, because treasure coordinates beat another awkward loyalty debate. Qilua identifies it as Great Tandafa's burial ground, home of the legendary ancient Earth Formation Master. Su asks where this hidden relic is located, ready to turn the reunion into another expedition. The destination lies only 200 miles away, among towering blades of stone beyond Lion Mountain. Their route reaches the 800-mile Roaring River, an enormous golden waterway blocking the entire party. He cannot see a crossing and regrets leaving the flying parrot behind instead of bringing aerial reconnaissance. Biluo remembers no river here, but Chilua blames millennial spiritual revival for rewriting the landscape. Daylight prevents Su from crossing as a ghost, so even her spirit build hits daytime restrictions. She volunteers to swim ahead and test the river's depth, addressing her king with determined confidence. Claiming she mastered swimming as a tiny tadpole, Su marches toward the current without hesitation. She dives cleanly into the muddy river, leaving a white arc across the deceptively calm surface. The first strokes go smoothly, though the opaque golden water hides everything waiting beneath her. Big Bear asks why he cannot swim instead, insisting his own aquatic skills are equally legitimate. The lion rejects that application with one fourth-wall joke, sparing readers an unwanted bear swimsuit chapter. A gigantic reptilian shadow suddenly rises below Su, transforming the depth test into a boss encounter. A violent whirlpool traps her above the approaching monster, its silhouette filling nearly the whole river. The current blasts Su skyward, but escaping the water only places her directly above snapping jaws. A colossal crocodile lunges from below, opening a mouth large enough to delete her entire character slot. Everyone on shore freezes as the river monster nearly swallows their smallest scout in one bite. Biluo and Chilua stare in open shock, realizing this crossing has active defenses. The armored crocodile towers upright through the spray, absurdly huge even beside the surrounding mountains. Her king screams Xiaoling's name, instantly dropping every cautious thought about the river. He tears away his cloak and charges the bank, choosing rescue before anyone can formulate strategy. The transformed lion dives after her despite desperate warnings, hitting the brown water like artillery. Underwater, he powers downward through churning bubbles, racing towards Su and the crocodile's massive shadow. Instead of advancing, his heavy body keeps sinking, and swimming technique suddenly becomes completely irrelevant. He realizes metallic gold grants spectacular defense but zero buoyancy, turning hero mode into anchor mode. More reptilian silhouettes circle through the murk, revealing the first attacker brought an entire raid party. Spotting them just in time, he steadies himself underwater and prepares to weaponize his sinking problem. Red-eyed crocodiles close from every direction, surrounding the motionless golden target with synchronized hunger. The largest beast opens its jaws beside him, expecting one effortless bite from the stranded intruder. He blocks the snap with one arm, and golden sparks immediately punish the crocodile's confidence, grabbing its tail. He turns the river monster into an improvised underwater club against its pack. The first sweeping hit stuns several attackers, their eyes spinning as electric force floods the murk. He keeps swinging crocodiles into crocodiles, creating a ridiculous reptile pinball combo beneath the river. Still gripping one tail, he challenges the remaining swarm while their red eyes tighten around him. A second tail whips across his body, interrupting the combo before momentum can solve everything. He notices several monsters targeting the shore party, while his weight prevents any direct pursuit upward. Changing tactics, he pressures one terrified crocodile into helping, placing the escape plan entirely on it. Onshore, Big Bear and the others suddenly notice the entire river surface surging overhead. A massive wave crashes toward the bank, forcing every follower to brace or dodge the flood. Biluo and Chilua spring upward with the umbrella, escaping before the muddy blast lands. The river smashes through the beasts below, scattering bear, snake, and smaller followers across the ground. Perched safely in a tree, the Ghost Sisters spot something enormous moving inside the receding torrent. Biluo recognizes a Chinese alligator. Though its kaiju proportions make that label feel aggressively understated, several colossal alligators surge onto the bank, piling up where the expedition stood moments earlier. Deep below, their king remains submerged and silent, his rescue attempt apparently still unfinished. He punches his reluctant crocodile mount and orders it upward, but both bodies keep sinking together. The battered reptile finally starts swimming, hauling its golden passenger through the murky current. One giant alligator bursts onto shore roaring, giving the waiting followers a brand new close-range problem. Big Bear charges straight into its jaws and braces them apart with both arms. The bite pressure nearly folds him despite monstrous strength, forcing every muscle into emergency overtime. Biluo warns Chinese alligators bite with tons of force, while Bear angrily rejects her nickname. The Ghost Sisters float clear as another red-eyed alligator tears through the tree beneath them. Biluo binds its jaws shut with dark strands, explaining sealed lips become nearly impossible to reopen. Watching that trick, Big Bear instantly develops an idea far sneakier than wrestling another bite. He demands rope immediately, planning to tie the trapped monster before it recovers. Xiaoqing snaps at his panic and moves forward, clearly preparing a serpent-style restraint upgrade. Far underwater, a golden claw lands on something hard among the riverbed debris. The unexpected contact catches his attention, interrupting the frantic search for Su beneath the river. He discovers mountains of gigantic skeletons, including remains belonging to numerous high-level monsters. That graveyard confirms the alligators are no random mobs, and everyone above faces lethal danger. Back on shore, the struggling alligator gains leverage against Bear, whose grip finally starts slipping. Its armored tail slams him at point-blank range, launching the powerhouse away like a plush toy. Bear crashes through a tree trunk, proving brute force tanking has officially failed this encounter. Xiaoqing shouts after him as the freed alligator charges, forcing her to intercept alone. The enormous green serpent coils around the attacking beasts, turning her body into living restraints. Xiaoqing tightens her coils around several alligators, but their combined thrashing pushes even her limits. Biluo tries to intervene, yet Chilua warns direct daylight would burn her sister into dust. Before she risks it, a violent surge erupts from the river and interrupts the rescue argument. Below, the lion activates wordless inheritance, soul art. Skeleton staircase, wrapping himself in violet lightning. The endless riverbed bones prove generations of high-level monsters became trophies for the crocodile rulers. Calling the disaster a hidden blessing, he tests the Celestial Book's newly revealed soul technique. Purple power floods the graveyard as his hand seal commands every dormant skeleton to respond. Bones snap together from all directions, rebuilding long-dead beasts under one triumphant rise and shine order. The successful resurrection proves the wordless Celestial Book's inheritance is completely real, not decorative loot. One reanimated beast kneels before its new king, Violet Soullight holding the entire skeleton together. He pets the obedient skull, discovering the terrifying undead minion accepts head scratches like a puppy. Despite mastering spiritual manipulation, he admits one friendly skeleton still cannot solve the buoyancy debuff. The creature nudges his foot insistently, suggesting its usefulness extends beyond emotional support. More skeletons awaken around him, answering the technique until the riverbed becomes an undead army. Their bodies stack into a rising pathway, turning monster remains into an improvised staircase toward daylight. He finally understands the inheritance' intended versatility. Because corpse architecture apparently counts as soul mastery, the bone staircase surges upward beneath his feet, carrying him through the current at last. Water and Violet Soullight spiral around the moving platform, accelerating its climb from the abyss. He rides the skeletal highway upward with one hand planted, finally turning the river's victims into escape power. Wordless inheritance keeps blazing around him, confirming skeleton staircase as the technique's first practical evolution. Xiaoqing and Big Bear look upward in disbelief as their king's strange rescue platform approaches. Qilua recognizes the technique instantly, while even her expression admits the result should be impossible. Biluo names spirit puppetry. Stunned, he deciphered an unwritten ancient art preserved across countless ages. The red-eyed alligators regroup onshore, watching the approaching bone army with fresh predatory focus. He lands dramatically in bone armor as skulls scatter around him, bringing undead cavalry onto dry ground. Violet soul energy rebuilds the fallen remains again, forming skeletal beasts ready for a ground charge. The puppets rush the alligators, but armored tails smash several skeletons apart before they can bite. Biluo warns their hides are nearly impenetrable, making ordinary ghost attacks useless against these tanks. The lion agrees the armor is impressive, then calmly steps into point-blank striking range. His fist punches straight through the open mouth, declaring golden hardness far superior to reptilian defense. The impact splits the attack line and exposes the monster, setting up an immediate finishing combo. Su joins with Fangblade Slash, carving a black arc through the trapped alligator. The wounded beast retreats with its tail curled, leaving him impressed by its remaining raw strength. Demonic pressure floods the survivors, and he commands them to become one tiny seaworthy vessel together. Every alligator freezes under the order, abruptly reconsidering whether continued aggression is worth the respawn timer. Soon the expedition rides a living alligator raft across the river, making the impossible crossing look easy. Qilua fumes that her millennium-honed spirit puppetry was copied in days, suffering catastrophic seniority damage. Su notices fog gathering around the convoy, replacing clear skies with an unsettling white curtain. Visibility collapses completely, leaving the crocodile vessel drifting blind while everyone argues about mountain climbing. An unseen driver suddenly announces their arrival and stops the ride, confusing the entire expedition. Biluo explains the Kushan Mountains bury Earth formation ancestors, and their outer terrain hides behind layered defenses. Their raft has entered the first layer, a mystical mist formation wrapped around a needle-like peak. With visibility dangerously low, the lion orders the living raft toward shore before advancing farther. Big Bear volunteers to scout the route and leaps confidently toward what looks like solid land. He lands with a tremendous splash, discovering the supposed shore is actually more river. The mountain silhouette melts into darkness above him, proving the landscape itself can rewrite between steps. Bear panics as land becomes water again, realizing the formation has already hijacked basic geography. Biluo identifies an illusion and warns locating Kushan's ruins will be far harder than expected. The fake current drags Bear away, forcing the others to pull their stranded scout back aboard. As he stretches out a rescue arm, the lion notices the mist physically invading their space. Su recognizes the sensation first, her widening eyes suggesting this trap reaches beyond ordinary sight. She grabs his extended arm and warns the royal party that everything surrounding them is a mirage. The warning finally clicks for him, but understanding the trap does not immediately cancel it. Su compares it to the black mist guarding Spirit Flower Coffin, where illusion deaths kill minds for real. She orders everyone calm and says disrupting their internal spiritual energy flow can break the illusion. The party begins forcing that break, while their alligator transport displays hypnotized spiral eyes. The formation retaliates violently, blasting beasts, ghosts, and their king away from the shattered raft. Swept through phantom water, he calls for Su, Xiaoqing, and Big Bear by name. Those three answer nearby, barely keeping themselves above the raging illusion as the group scatters. Qilua screams for her sister, confirming Bilua has vanished somewhere inside the formation. The lion awakens beneath blooming peach trees, discovering the deadly mist has swapped chaos for suspicious paradise. Yan Bilua appears nearby, meaning the formation paired these two while scattering everyone else. She calmly adjusts her hair among drifting petals, looking far too comfortable inside enemy illusion territory. Her relaxed beauty leaves him momentarily stunned, though the gorgeous map clearly screams hidden boss fight. Biluo notices his stare and asks what troubles her new king. Breaking the awkward silence, he blurts out their location, then demands to know how they arrived and where everyone vanished. She admits this paradise could hide inside Kushan, or exist entirely within their manipulated imagination. Undeterred, the lion suggests hunting ancient relics first, trusting every scattered teammate to converge there. Biluo warns his overwhelming aura could shake her ghost soul apart, complicating their duo run. He dismisses that problem as easy mode, condensing a brilliant golden orb above one claw. Demon pill power stretches into whirling golden bands, forming an energy tether through the blossom grove. The extended strands loop and reshape at absurd speed, turning raw golden energy into usable gear. Biluo praises the flashy result while gathering the many strands, genuinely impressed by his crafting flex. The bundle proves brutally heavy, yet she hauls it up and declares their road trip active. Elsewhere, the illusion shifts into a blood-red canyon, where an unseen follower shouts for his king. Su Ling reaches the rocky ledge, calling for Xiaoqing and Big Bear through crimson haze. Finding neither king nor companion nearby, she curses this solo dungeon and desperately wishes for backup. Her wish instantly summons Qiluo, umbrella raised, as the spirit calls urgently for her sister, separated from Biluo. Qiluo grumbles that even stinky lions would beat wandering this nightmare alone. The two women finally spot each other across the canyon, giving the scattered party its first lucky regroup. Su Ling and Qiluo immediately trade hostile stares, each privately calling the other her worst possible teammate. Elsewhere, Big Bear and Xiaoqing admire a bright blue world stretching across endless water. Their illusion lets both companions walk directly over the surface, making the impossible scenery feel wonderfully magical. Big Bear remains skeptical, noting a mountain should actually resemble one before earning that grand title. The mismatched pair keeps trekking across featureless water, unable to locate even a proper mountain outline. Back in Peach Paradise, the lion carries Biluo's golden umbrella, while she walks comfortably beside him. She flirts about flower symbolism and invites her king beneath the umbrella, turning navigation into accidental romance, awkwardly sharing the shade. He wonders whether recruiting this dangerously charming ghost after one meeting was reckless. Biluo enjoys his gentlemanly umbrella service, while his blushing face confirms maximum social debuff. The mood breaks when he realizes they have walked forever. Yet the peach forest never ends. Biluo corrects him. The path is looping, and they have returned exactly where their trek began. She finds her previous tree scratch, originally left so Qiluo could track their position. That repeated landmark confirms the peach forest is artificial, and the duo remains hard-trapped inside. The lion labels the formation a ghostly maze, finally treating its peaceful skin as genuine danger. Then an entire peach tree slides across their route, exposing how the map secretly rearranges itself. He grabs Biluo and dodges immediately, preventing the moving terrain from separating them again. She identifies an unusually mysterious ghost maze whose moving structure continuously disrupts their visual sense of direction. Thinking past vision, he reasons that biological movement naturally curves because left and right limbs never move identically. Without constant visual correction, walkers form a roughly 5-kilometer circle, yet their loop closed much sooner than physics allows. Therefore, the peach forest both hijacks direction and physically moves, stacking two navigation hacks into one brutal maze. He proposes smashing through the forest's shifting blockade with overwhelming speed, choosing raw stats over puzzle mechanics. Biluo urgently objects before her king can launch another classic charge-first strategy into unknown terrain. She catches his wrist and insists the maze cannot be defeated so simply, halting his sprint. As their hands connect, the illusion suddenly replaces his leonine face with a bewildered blonde human appearance. A transformed woman in white grabs his hand as someone calls out Biluo's name, deepening the identity glitch. The blonde human stumbles after her, while a startled voice recognizes him as its missing king. The woman instantly recoils and demands his identity, proving appearances and recognition no longer align. He studies unfamiliar human hands, struggling to answer while the maze scrambles body, memory, and certainty. Finally, he states his true name, Liu Fan, anchoring himself through the illusion's identity rewrite. Meanwhile, Su Ling and Qiluo argue whether either has spotted their king or missing sister. Both answer no with synchronized irritation, turning their accidental reunion into immediate comedy aggro. Qiluo presses Su Ling about the direction she came from, suspicious that she missed clues. Su Ling reports finding nothing and fires the same question back, equally annoyed and equally lost. Their scouting reports deadlock, so Qiluo ends negotiations and starts walking away alone. Su Ling snatches her wrist, protesting that simply abandoning the only teammate makes zero survival sense. Qiluo yanks forward and tells the soul cultivator to mind her business. Rejecting forced friendship, she remembers they were enemies moments ago and refuses to trust Lion Mountain's sudden cooperative patch. Qiluo leaves through the canyon without looking back, while Su Ling watches in baffled silence. The growing distance isolates them again, and the Crimson Maze happily swallows both separate routes. Alone, Qiluo admits Biluo already surrendered, leaving her unsure how to survive socially on Lion Mountain. Qiluo's isolation turns sinister as she imagines Lion Mountain's king and Su Ling dying inside the formation. She fantasizes about ruling the mountain beside Biluo afterward, complete with suspiciously romantic sister ambitions. Before the villain monologue finishes, Su Ling silently catches up behind her through the looping canyon. Qiluo spins around, furious that the same unwanted teammate has somehow appeared again. She finally suspects the valley itself loops, explaining why every solo escape route circles back. Su Ling confirms it with a drawn blade and closes distance, immediately putting Qiluo on defense. The soul cultivator marches ahead with weapon ready, watching the canyon and her sketchy companion simultaneously. Behind her, Qiluo raises a hidden knife, attempting to backstab her earlier thoughts heavily foreshadowed. Su Ling whirls first and counters from above, absolutely deleting the spirit's surprise attack advantage. Caught red-handed, Qilua demands how her intended victim discovered the betrayal before the knife landed. Suling noticed their shadows switch positions when they brushed past, exposing the spirit's sneaky movement. She demonstrates with the dramatically stretched shadows, proving the canyon's lighting accidentally betrayed Qiluo's setup. Then she cheerfully stomps her rival's shadow repeatedly, claiming nobody could resist such premium trolling. Back in the grove, the transformed pair stand baffled together while petals continue masking the formation's threat. Seeing his blonde human body still active, the king demands an explanation for the latest reality bug. Luo explains elite formations can conceal space and even control time within their master's domain. She realizes the peach forest manipulates more than distance. The trap is dragging them through time. He looks upward and cautiously asks whether their altered bodies represent something from the past. Biluo confirms her white-robed appearance matches herself 1,000 years ago, then questions his human form. He quietly confirms the blonde man is his former self, proving the maze reconstructs personal history. Before Biluo can explain further, grinding noises spread through the grove and cut off her sentence. Massive roots tear free and crawl across the ground, transforming peaceful scenery into an active encounter. One peach trunk opens glowing violet eyes, confirming the moving forest now comes with hostile mobs. Every nearby tree sprouts jagged mouths and closes around the humanized pair, turning petals into an ambush arena. Surrounded, the former lion shields Biluo and urgently searches for any opening through the wooden ring. A towering tree monster lunges from directly ahead, forcing him to confront the maze without his usual body. He attempts Golden Lion's Roar anyway, shouting the signature move like confidence alone can restore lost stats. The tree simply swats him sideways, and Biluo's alarmed praise lands with accidental comedy damage. Dazed from the failed attack, he realizes something unexpectedly soft cushioned his crash landing. He discovers Biluo underneath him, leaving both transformed allies blushing harder than the combat requires. She explains the formation restored their former cultivation levels too, making his human past self effectively ordinary. Biluo winces from the impact, revealing the rescue cost her already weakened historical body real pain. He notices her injured shoulder and supports her upright, confused why she protected him despite danger. Knowing he is currently ordinary, he asks why she risked herself instead of preserving her ghost power. She answers that serving her king is duty. In death, his ghost servant, in life completely his person. The openly devoted confession leaves him speechless, briefly freezing the usually unflappable ruler's dialogue options. Another murderous peach tree swings a heavy branch at his exposed back before romance can continue. His eyes ignite golden, and raw instinct snaps his supposedly ordinary body into lightning-fast counterattack mode. Biluo stares in disbelief as her king reacts faster than the restored cultivation rules should allow. He catches and tears away the attacking branch bare-handed, proving the temporal nerf cannot fully suppress him. His fingers snap the wooden weapon cleanly, showering bark fragments while the monster's attack collapses mid-swing. The system awards 5 strength for breaking it, confirming its permanent binding ignores the function's time manipulation. A dramatic chapter splash crowns his reborn lion identity, framing the temporal dungeon as another evolution checkpoint. Elsewhere, Xiaoqing and Big Bear angrily trudge across the endless water, exhausted by zero navigation progress. Xiaoqing concludes the unreal horizon may never end and finally suspects they entered an illusion. Big Bear panics at that diagnosis, immediately asking what 2 trapped bruisers should possibly do next. He pokes Xiaoqing's scales to test whether she is also fake, choosing science with maximum danger. Enraged, she coils around him and declares only their king may touch her scales, nearly crushing the researcher. Recovering, Big Bear remembers Lion Mountain's parrot can cast illusions and recalls asking how that technique functions. A completed illusion hijacks all 5 senses, making false injuries and pain feel entirely real. However, disrupting internal energy flow reflects the technique onto its caster and breaks the sensory prison. Xiaoqing accepts the theory, and the stranded duo prepares to force their energy out of rhythm. Both roar and violently circulate power, splashing the water as golden pressure erupts around them. The burst fades, leaving Xiaoqing and Big Bear sweating awkwardly beneath an unchanged blue sky. Their remembered countermeasure completely fails, proving this ancient formation operates beyond the parrot's ordinary illusion rules. Suddenly, the water beneath them rotates into a huge whirlpool, exposing hidden depth under the walkable surface. Xiaoqing announces they are descending while Big Bear stares, apparently missing the very obvious dungeon entrance. She asks why they can stand on water at all, redirecting his panic toward the clue beneath them. Spotting something below, Xiaoqing dives first and insults Big Bear's intelligence as he scrambles after her. Both companions sink through the false surface into clear depths, finally abandoning the illusion's horizontal maze. The pair bursts through the illusion with a violent splash, their silhouettes suddenly looking suspiciously human. They surface inside a lush forest pool where ordinary trees and a grazing deer replace endless water. A waterfall descends beneath a stone maiden statue, making the hidden sanctuary look peaceful and deliberately crafted. Big Bear rises as a muscular human and admires the scenery, then notices Xiaoqing nearby. His expression jumps from wonder to alarm as the transformation's embarrassing wardrobe problem finally registers. Xiaoqing emerges as a green-haired human woman, equally stunned by her unfamiliar body and missing scales. Big Bear wonders whether this attractive human form is another illusion, activating maximum suspicion slightly too late. She hesitantly confirms the change is real, blushing as she processes exactly what the formation removed. Xiaoqing shouts that she became human, her surprise echoing across the previously serene waterfall basin. Without his fur, Big Bear complains the air feels freezing, ignoring the more immediate social crisis. He starts climbing ashore unclothed, prompting Xiaoqing to realize exactly what is entering her view. She explosively launches the perceived pervert away, ending his shore attempt with one furious counterattack. Big Bear crashes face first onto land while Xiaoqing's follow-up rage leaves his dignity critically damaged. From the dirt, he protests that neither has clothes, correctly identifying the problem but worsening the mood. Xiaoqing pauses, still blushing. Because the bear's awkward argument is unfortunately completely valid, Big Bear quickly fashions a leaf skirt, choosing primitive equipment to block everyone's view and restore basic decency. Calling humanity inconvenient, Xiaoqing activates dragon transformation, scales growth and forms a sleek protective scale covering. Big Bear approves the workaround and decides his beast transformation should solve the same clothing problem. He activates beast transformation, fur growth, confidently channeling power while expecting a full-body wardrobe upgrade. The spell grows fur only in hilariously inconvenient patches, leaving Xiaoqing speechless at his failed loadout. Xiaoqing orders Big Bear to stop growing those grotesque patches, physically cringing at his cursed customization. Now partially dressed, they examine the maiden statue and debate whether this beautiful sanctuary remains another illusion. Big Bear suggests testing reality by solving the problem at its root, ominously targeting the statue. Xiaoqing realizes he means demolition and screams for him to stop before he desecrates the monument. A dark figure suddenly drops from above the waterfall, interrupting their argument with perfect dramatic timing. A booted human woman lands before the transformed beasts, and both instantly recognize unexpected danger. Her athletic brown-haired form freezes Xiaoqing, because the newcomer's identity feels intensely familiar despite transformation. One confirming sniff identifies the scent, and Xiaoqing realizes exactly which rival just arrived. She names the human woman White Tiger, exposing Tigress beneath the unfamiliar skin and travel gear. Xiaoqing lunges and accuses Tigress of creating the formation that trapped their entire expedition. Tigress punches back, explaining she was only practicing human transformation before they invaded and threatened the goddess statue. Big Bear watches the two women brawl, completely lost about the newcomer's identity and explosive history. Xiaoqing calls her Lion Mountain's former enemy and mastermind behind the White Tiger invasion, escalating old grudges. Big Bear finally remembers their king brought Tigress home as his wife, making the situation even messier. Xiaoqing immediately punches him for repeating that claim, rejecting the royal marriage rumor with maximum force. The three pause in an awkward triangle, with nobody remotely prepared to explain the relationship chart calmly. Tigress assumes Xiaoqing also wants to steal her husband, turning suspicion into open romantic aggro. Mortified, Xiaoqing demands whose husband she means and insists their king would never choose Tigress. Tigress closes her eyes and quietly says she knows, replacing smug confidence with a surprisingly wounded moment. Xiaoqing hesitates. Completely wrong-footed by the admission and suddenly unsure whether another joke is coming, Tigress finally breaks down, sobbing that her husband dislikes her because his preferences clearly favor human women. She reveals the Cloud and Waiter goddess blessed her with this human form, supposedly matching exactly what he likes. Xiaoqing looks toward the waterfall statue and realizes the goddess caused Tigress's transformation, connecting the sanctuary's purpose. Instead of calming down, the dragon woman launches herself at Tigress, taking their rivalry straight into aerial combat. Tigress reaches after her and orders an immediate stop, but neither woman's momentum contains a retreat button. She catches Xiaoqing by the hair mid-flight, producing a spectacularly undignified counter to dragon mobility. Xiaoqing claws back while Tigress holds on, and both transformed fighters tumble through the sky together. Their spinning grapple drops toward the ground as Big Bear watches, wisely refusing to enter the matchup. He begs the women to stop making everything harder, offering useless relationship advice from safely outside range. Xiaoqing fires Dragon King's breath at close range, escalating their argument into a genuine ultimate skill clash. Tigress answers with Great Western Heaven 5 Thunder Corrective Law, wrapping herself in violent blue lightning. Breath and thunder collide above the goddess statue, blooming into a massive golden explosion across the sanctuary. Big Bear stares blankly at the blast, having officially lost track of how flirting became artillery. Smoke clears with Xiaoqing sprawled on the ground, confirming Tigress won this chaotic relationship duel. Standing over her, Tigress insists nobody can destroy the goddess while she is present, rejecting Xiaoqing's disbelief. Right on cue, a violent crack splits the sacred statue behind Tigress, instantly sabotaging her dramatic claim. The Cloud and Waiter goddess statue explodes into stone fragments, revealing some outside force just broke the sanctuary's core. Beyond the collapsing peach forest, the blonde human reaches open ground and declares the looping maze finished. His golden lion body and Luo's red-robed form return together, confirming the temporal layer has shattered. Big Bear spots his restored king and shouts in relief, finally linking the scattered party's escape routes. Tigress turns toward the restored lion and joyfully calls him husband, instantly forgetting the wrecked sanctuary. Exhausted Xiaoqing looks up at her king, then wonders who he truly is beneath every transformation.